Hello and welcome back to another episode of the How Long to Beat podcast, a podcast made by members of the community for members of the community. My name is Matt and I'm with my friends Leah.
Hello.
And Roy.
Burning in the summer, it's Frozen J. Roy, who might become Melting Roy soon.
I was about to say, yeah. Not with us today is Diallo, but we will make do as always. Today, as always, we will start by talking about the games that we have beaten, retired, and played lately, before moving into our discussion topic in this episode, which will be the wonderful world of Advergames. Games that are advertising some shit to us in successful or unsuccessful ways. We will reminisce about some goods, some bads, whatever we can think of. And to top it all off, of course, another round of the eternally unnamed, untitled collection game before we end this episode. But for now, what have we beaten recently? And I believe, looking at our sheet here, Leah, it would make sense for you to begin.
Yeah. So I have, I guess, not technically beaten, but I have finished what I was ever going to do with logic puzzles, which was finishing the daily puzzles of 2025. Because as the days keep coming, more puzzles keep happening, and there's no way that I'm ever going to finish that. So I was like, let me just do 2025 and then be done with that. So it was a good game, and it was enjoyable just because it keeps me in that Murdle mindset of those logic puzzles. When now that I have notebooks now to do Murdles in. But it's a shame because the actual game with like levels or whatever, I wasn't able to play it because they kept on making me play that like Block Dooku Tetris ripoff that like I was like, I'm playing this more to get points just to play the actual game. And I was like, this is stupid. I'm not here to play this game. I'm here to play the logic puzzle game. So unfortunate that it went like that. But yeah, that's off of my backlog and completed in my mind anyway. I also finished While Waiting. The waiting aspect did get very old towards the end. A lot of the levels also could just be passed by like doing nothing. And that was an issue sometimes where I would look at the other extra achievements that were there and be like, okay, I'm going to try and figure out how to do that. I don't know what that's supposed to mean, but I'm going to try and figure something out. And then I would just, in the process of trying to figure out what those extra achievements meant, time would pass and I would complete the level without actually trying to. And I would get frustrated because sometimes it was like, there's like one where you have to like get something from a vending machine, but you have to get like buy 3 things. So I pressed the machine like 3 times to get all the things in the machine, but I didn't realize I had to like serve it to people. So then I had to go to the machine, pick up the thing, bring it to somebody, give them that. Then as I was walking to the other machine to get the next item out of there to give to someone, it was like, you win, you did this level. And I was like, no, I was in the middle of doing other achievements. Give me at least like partial credit for that or something. Another thing is that the levels sort of kind of get dark at sometimes. In certain levels, like it's supposed to be about like the passage of time through this character's life. So like it starts off with like wait to be born, and then like it goes all the way through your parents dying, your kids being born, you know, like people being in the hospital. And it was like, it's weird to have like like some of them were like very flowery where it was like you're in a coma or whatever. So like this level is like a dreamscape of like all your memories or whatever. But then like in other ones, it's like wait for your parent to die or something. And I was like, that's weird. I don't know if we need this as like a level like right after we just did like wait to be fired, you know? So it was like very strange. But
from waiting to be born to wait to be fired, man, that is the life
Isn't
of a
that
person.
just life?
Yeah, summed up in 2 steps. Shit.
Yeah, so
add in waiting for the pearly gates and you can get the whole life cycle in.
Yeah,
if you have that privilege.
There were some fun ones, like there's one section where you know, you're like waiting for like the New Year's countdown, or like you're waiting for like a commercial to finish on TV, so you're flipping through the channels and you can like at different points in his life, like at first when he's younger, it's just like you can only flip through channels, and then like as he gets older, it's like a set-top box that he has, so like instead of like waiting for the commercial, you can turn on your game console and play Snake for a while. And then like later on, like he's watching stuff with like his daughter or whatever. But then there's another section where it's like you're trying to go to sleep, but like your parents want you to be in bed, but you're like trying to like move around your room and like do stuff. But then like that same thing happens when you're in college and like the people next door are like blasting and you're trying to sleep before your test. And then once he's an adult, it's like you have to be Santa Claus, but your daughter hasn't gone to sleep yet. And you're like, oh my God, like now you're on the other side of things where it's like, oh, all the different ways of like stuff that you would do at night or whatever, where you're just like, no, I'm a kid, I want to stay up. And then like as an adult being like, get the kid to sleep, I need to put the presents out. So
it's kind of cool.
That was kind of fun. Yeah. But yeah, just sometimes I would be like, I don't know what other things I can do in this level, and then it would be like, you're done, next level, and I was like, I wasn't done like looking around that level. So.
Yeah.
So that was kind of interesting. It was a fun little game. I enjoyed that. The next is like now the rest of this is just mostly itch games that I've played, which the first one is Lady at the Costco gave me her extra hot dog soda combo.
If that doesn't sound like an itch game, I don't know what it does.
Yeah.
That's either an itch game or an isekai title.
True. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, there's not much to this one, but it was hilarious. The humor is great. Costco people love those combos. Basically, she gives you the hot dog and you have to put the toppings on the hot dog, and then you have to go to the soda fountain and fill up your cup. That's the end of the game.
Awesome.
It's a good art style as well. Very quirky. Then I also have Astronomical Club for Queers, which was a find from the Untitled Collection game a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
And it's also a very short title. It's like 5 minutes long, which kind of was underwhelming. I feel like there's more story there that didn't get done, and I understand that this was kind of like a game jam tech demo sort of thing where they were just like, oh, just make some characters, give them a story. But I was like, I want to know like who these people are and what's going on with their little, Astronomical Club, because like they mentioned certain things and it's like clearly there's a story here that they wanted to get to. So I wish that they had like fleshed it out a little bit more. I don't know that they're going to, but that was I feel like I wanted to know more of the actual story that they put behind these characters, because there's a lot of thought there that didn't get explored in 5 minutes. The next is Canary Caged, which is a very depressing bird game.
Oh boy.
Kind of like a visual novel where you're in a coal mine with the canary in the cage, and you're with a guy who was interested in your wife before she met you. So it's like he was like, the whole thing is like you're walking in this cave and the guy's like, I didn't think she was going to marry anybody. I tried to marry her before she even met you. And I'm like, are we going to fight about this in this cave? Like we're trying to look for coal, I assume. But like after every little like section of text, you have to like click on the bird and be like, is it still singing? Oh, the bird's still singing. Okay, keep going. And like honestly, I was just trying to play this in a way where we come back out of the cave, and that did not happen. So I tried to play it like 2 or 3 times just to see if there was a way that I could be like, okay, no, we're not going to go into the cave. We're not having this discussion. We're going to end this story here. And it just, the way that it's branched out, it just won't let you make that an option. So this was also, I guess, made for a jam that only allowed like a very strict amount of assets. Like I think it was like 5 assets or something like that.
Interesting.
It's very just like the bird and the text, and that's it. And like maybe like the background. So definitely more of a visual novel and a lot shorter than, I don't know what I was expecting, but it was interesting for an itch game. And then my last game here is Posey Picks Bus Stop, which is a gem of an RPG. I love this. There's no notes. I'm going to recommend this to everyone. I was laughing out loud at the humor here. I played it. It was like at the end of a very stressful day where I was like behind on a lot of things that I meant to do that week. And I was just like, every single day there were 2 things that I had to move to the next day. And I was just like, just looking at this pile of stuff. And I was just like, tomorrow there's like other things I'm going to have to get through. And this is like terrible. I don't want to have to think about this. But I was like, let me play some itch games and like get my mind off of it. So coming off of Canary Cage to this one, which is like a wild gem of a game. So this really brought some brightness to my day, and like it's very sort of like Scott Pilgrim sort of humor, where it's like get very meta and very like branchy with things. And like I must have played it like 7 or 8 times in a row just to see like all the different endings that you could get. And I was laughing my ass off the entire time. So like I will definitely be linking this for future Itchmasses for people to play, because this was stupid fun that I needed at the moment.
It does have a very cute art style. I'm definitely interested in that alone.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking. I'm gonna add it to my itch collection of games I want to play later.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, that's it for me for beaten games. Finally back on track for having completed some stuff.
True, yeah, that was a pretty good bundle there. And clearly some good games. That bunny I'm gonna keep an eye out for. Speaking of cutesy little creatures, I've also beaten a game with cutesy little creatures. Small Saga, which I have already been rambling about in previous episodes, but I have finished that epic quest. Again, this is with the greatest game of all time, I want to say. This is a game about rodents living in the underground of London, and the protagonist is an angry, revenge-driven mouse who lost his brother in a tragic meeting with a god, aka a human being, and just wants to go out and kill a god. And you pretty much meet a bunch of other rodents in the almost fantastical world underneath London. And I've finally come to the end of this, fought several gods at this point. And this was genuinely, I described this game as like one of the most badass and beautiful games I have played, because it both has these really strong, I guess, anger-driven characters that really want to fuck shit up for some reason or another, but also ending with a lot of themes of, hope for a destructive community and like going on despite, a troubling world, and all of these things. Certainly evergreen subjects that many of us can relate to, especially these days, and whatnot. So this not only was this visually a really fucking pretty game with the colorful pixel art style and whatnot, but also tonally it was really, really beautiful. I got really invested in all of the different characters' little personal stories. I went and did all of the optional like side quests that I was, recognizing as optional side quests. I really tried to clean this up and get all of these individual characters' own goals done. I remember, I think in an episode a while ago, I was talking about a side quest where you invade a human's apartment to gather some paint, and you are approached by some pet turtles that I couldn't beat at the time. I fucking beat the shit out of those now, which was very satisfying after, multiple hours of playtime. Returning to that, I almost want to say they were harder than some of the gods. Like, there's like, not to spoil shit or whatever, but there's one moment in this where one of your companions is I think I mentioned this the last time, is a lab rat that escaped the animal experimentation lab and wields a fucking scalpel as a weapon. I think I mentioned that before. But there's a side quest where you actually return to the lab and fight one of those,
oh my God,
surgeons. And it's so fucking badass. So
that
cool.
sounds badass, but I just want to say, last time when you said that, I said, oh, it's like The Secret of Nim. And what you described is just the plot of The Secret of Nim 2.
Is that a thing, actually?
Yeah, because they're in The Secret of Nim 2, because in the first one, some of the rats have, like, kind of power / intelligence because they got experimented on by humans. And The Secret of Nim 2, it's like the young mice from the first movie go to that lab, and there's, like, a scientist there.
Oh my God.
And like one of them takes it over and stuff.
That sounds awesome. I haven't even watched the first Secret of them, but I'm
the first one is good.
Oh my God.
Go to them. Yeah, I've heard much about them, yeah.
I won't go into it. The first one is good. The second one kind of sucks ass, but it's also entertaining.
I mean, at least it's got that going. Okay, yeah. But yeah, Small Saga was like genuinely a gem. That is one of those rare story-driven game where I really got engaged and actually didn't want it to end when it did, and that doesn't happen often at all with me. I'm usually, when I get to the end of a game, especially story-driven ones, I'm like, yep, I got my fill. This is a fine place to stop. But Yeah, here I actually wanted to stick with these characters. Again, I'm not sure what I've said about this game in previous episodes, so if I'm repeating myself, I guess I cut it out. But after playing this, even I uh on Blue Sky, the developers on Blue Sky, and I was like, "Add developer, please make a Watership Down game. I would give you $1 million." I might have mentioned this before. I'm actually not sure, but like this is just generally the vibe of this, the style of it. If this person would make a Watership Down game, one of my favorite books of all time, that would be like a match made in heaven. But I think they probably have greater, more original ideas. I don't think they have time to do an adaptation like that. Still, one can dream. But yeah, Small Saga, eternally, forever. Strong suggestion from me. This will, at the end of the year, this will be like on the list of my favorite playthroughs of this year and whatnot. It's so good.
Yeah, it seems like a pretty clear game of the year contender for you.
Yeah, definitely a contender. Yeah. Another game that I previously mentioned that I finished now is the VR game called Mare. That I think I mentioned it last episode, which is a bird-based puzzle game full of vibes. It's very much, I think, a game where the visual experience is like almost more in the center of the game than the actual puzzling and gameplay. The story is also insanely vague and really feels more artsy than actually having any point. You are a mechanical bird that can only fly from like antenna to antenna. There's only specific spots where you can sit. And you find a lonesome little girl that keeps chasing you, and you have to basically show it the way through the levels. And with the help of this NPC character, like get from point A to point B until you reach, the final mysterious, threatening structure that you have to confront for whatever reason. Again, the story is like extremely vague to the point where I could not actually pinpoint any interpretation in any way. But again, the vibes were nice. It was one of those games where you just sit and watch the environment, which also, of course, in VR works very well, especially. There was a collectible element to it, an optional thing where you could collect, I think it was 13 hidden things in the levels, and I actually kind of made an effort to find them all. I'm missing 2 of them, and I would actually go back to the levels to clean up to get those, to probably get like the true good ending or whatever the heck. But the game doesn't at all tell you in what levels you got them all or whatever, or like in what levels they might be missing. And I am definitely not just blindly going through these very slow-paced levels just to find these 2 last collectibles. That doesn't seem worth the time. So unfortunately, I'm not gonna be 100%ing this. Still a very pretty game. It's not like an amazing game, gameplay-wise. And I think this is a very, like, if you look at like review aggregate websites, I think it's pretty divisive because not all people care for this. But I actually thought it was very chill, very pretty. It was a-okay.
Bye.
I believe that's all the games that I've previously talked about. So the rest of the games on my list are all fresh, and there's a bunch on here. I played a lot of like small games. Not to get political on this video game website, but I shot Donald Trump in a video game called Don't Crash, the political game.
Oh my god.
I'm sorry, Matt, but you gotta know that I shot Donald Trump, parentheses, in a video game as a title option now.
I would agree, but maybe. The last one was already a bit edgy, so maybe not, but yeah, we will see.
I said option, not
yeah. Yeah. Anyway, now that this podcast is on a list somewhere, Don't Crash, the political game, is a weird little budget game I found on Steam. If it's still on there, I don't know. It's one of those lazily made asset flips games that some person put on Steam to make a couple bucks. It's not anything special at all. It's a first-person shooter where you walk through crudely put together levels, and you shoot the cutouts, low pixel count photographs of like different US presidents, and Putin is also in there. So they put these like portrait photos of US presidents plus Putin as the NPCs to fight. They shoot back, they attack you and whatnot. And you are just tasked to clear these 4 stages of all of them. And then it's done. There's no credit roll, there's no level to level progression. You just have a main menu where you can choose any level in what order you want. It's a very rough fucking, probably some person's like 2-hour production or whatever. It's nothing grand, but I don't know. It was that's still time waster. You get to shoot Trump, you get to shoot Obama, you get to shoot Joe Biden, and you get to shoot Putin. Each of them has their own level. So lots of variety in this game. And this game is titled Don't Crash because when you die, the game closes itself, which sure, I guess.
Okay.
That's okay.
It's not really adding anything.
I assume that's because you get killed.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if it was an intentional feature even, or if it was just a mistake that they decided to keep in. But they do advertise the game with that, like as if it was part of the fun. It doesn't really add anything, but whatever. So that's a quick game that I played for some reason.
So Putin is the only one that's not a U.S. president in the
yeah.
That's what I was gonna say. It doesn't seem like there's that much variety then.
Yeah.
This is American-centric political shooter simulator.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's yeah.
Since the video game.
Well, I don't even know how long this is gonna stay on Steam, to be honest. Who the fuck knows? I'm surprised, especially in Germany, German Steam games get inaccessible for German users very quickly. So I'm even surprised that this was even available to me.
Actually, that makes
not that this is.
They can sell DLC packs with like historical political figures.
Yeah. Go through all the presidents for sure. That does seem like a a hole in the market that needs to be filled.
I was thinking because like Hitler or whatever.
Oh sure. Because I think so far the only like president you could consistently kill in a video game was probably JFK, because for some reason there's a lot of JFK games out there, especially one prominent one that's claiming to be educational.
I think it's conspiracy theories about his death.
Right. Yeah. Actually, that's a fair point. Yeah. This is really innovating the genre.
And I would say also Lincoln sometimes.
That would make sense. Yeah.
Lincoln and Reagan.
But I don't feel like I see. Maybe I need to do some digging now.
I think Lincoln probably has some, but I think like what Lincoln was doing as president maybe makes some people a bit more nervous to intersect in that way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That is fair.
You don't want to put that out there, make everybody think you're like super racist.
The book I'm reading now actually also mentions JFK's assassination, which is an interesting intersection lately.
I don't mean there, I mean, Jesus Christ. Do not take that out of context.
I think this is the most JFK assassination has ever been mentioned on this podcast, at least.
Oh yeah, for sure. We definitely got that record, yeah. No future season is gonna take that from us. Probably. So that is that shit. Another game that I played, unbeaten, is called Giga Bash, and this is I think last time I talked about how Marvel vs. Capcom, I tried those games, didn't get into them, not into fighting games too much. Giga Bash, this is a fighting game I can get behind. This is like a revival of those Godzilla console games that used to be pretty big back in the day.
Yeah.
This is putting those, I mean, this is also on consoles, but it's also on PC, unlike those Godzilla games. So I get to play this. And it's first and foremost, it's original characters, but they do have officially licensed DLC with multiple Godzilla kaijus, but even fucking Gamera and one of his foes, which is really exciting because Gamera, the turtle kaiju, is not as big as Godzilla ever was. So it's cool to see those creatures that are not really in that many video games. And I bought a bunch of DLC for that. I played for the original story mode, which is like, I think the story mode itself is only like 2 or 3 hours long, and it's not like that exciting. most of my time, my extra time I spent in this game was playing through the so-called arcade mode with all those DLC characters, where you just play against, you fight 9, individual kaiju monsters one by one, and then you're done with each, get a ranking, and then you're done. So it is a very straightforward kaiju big monster in a city bashing each other's head in game, and it has some. I had a couple glitches. I had a couple weird things happening because this is, I guess, sort of budget title. It's not like a high price or whatever. It's I think a relative indie studio that made these, but the quality is still there to, in my opinion, pretty well like bring back the fun feeling of those console Godzilla games, which are beloved by many. So it's actually really cool to see at least one attempt at bringing that into the modern age. This is really not a genre that is thriving much out there. Would be cool to get more of these kinds of games, but Giga Bash was a surprising amount of fun. I spent way more time on this than I expected to.
Yeah, my family War of the Monsters was like a big hit on the PlayStation
Yes.
2. So
I had that as well. That ruled, that game. I want to
Yeah.
replay that. Yeah.
So this has been sort of like on our minds lately, where like in a nostalgia way, we're like, we need those games back. Like even if it was just like Rampage. So this is definitely on our list to get around to.
Yeah, definitely a recommendation for those people. Then the next two games are both co-op games that I beat with my core buddy. We both blasted through these two games quicker than we expected. One of them is called Squirreled Away. I believe this is a recent release, if I'm not mistaken. It might have only been out for like a month, maybe, not sure. But this is a, semi-open world kind of survival game, although there's not really any proper threats here, where you and your friends are playing squirrels in a park. And you have to, complete quests for other squirrels. You have some crafting mechanics. You have some home base mechanics, the usual. But it's all like the tone is just like super chill and relaxed and very colorful and nice. There's literally only a single NPC character that could in any way harm you. Death is not really a thing. So it's all just about, exploration, hanging out with your friend and like getting these fetch quests done and crafting your things and whatnot. You have to do a specific amount of quests to unlock the next part of the park, so it expands over the time of the playthrough and whatnot. It's a genuine recommendation for just like a chill time. And you can, of course, also play it, alone. It's not really a requirement to have a core buddy. We did a lot of optional things in that as well. We potentially would have 100%ed that, but the way the credits rolled and put us, back to the beginning, we were kind of not in the mood to start all over again. There was a bit of an annoyance. But I mean, if you know that, you can, prevent that from happening. You can clean up before getting the credit roll. But yeah, this was, I think, we played this in 2 sessions. I think the total time was 6 hours, like a proper 6 hours of game time. But you could probably blast through this in half the time or whatever. It's just right as a small little cozy game. And the other co-op game that I played with my buddy is a completely different tone. And this is my pee-pee poo-poo game for this episode.
Gotta have one.
It is titled We Gotta Go. Yes. If I don't have one, I'm actually disappointed in myself. So We Gotta Go is a game made for me, because in this, you and your friends need to take a shit, but the bathroom in the building is locked. Also, the building is haunted with creatures. So you have to run through the building, trying to not shit your pants, find the key, unlock the bathroom, and get going. You know what I mean? Exactly. Happens all the time. And it has all of these fecal mechanics. Your life meter is your guts. Yeah, is a colon filling with poop, filling with farts. If if it
I
fills
love
up
this.
because you got too
Oh my
much
God.
damage and whatever, you do genuinely shit your pants, and you either need to clean them or get new ones. It is amazing. There,
Oh, here I thought that would just be
Wait,
game over.
well, if you if you shit your
So
pantless legs, then it's a game over. So the pants are basically an extra
I
life.
see. So the pants are like
Yeah.
a lie.
so you can
Yeah.
so you have multiple pants on or do you just
can
carry multiple
multiple pants if you want to sacrifice the inventory space. Yeah. And there's also items to clean soiled pants if you want to reuse them, that sort of thing.
Strategy.
And of course, there's loot boxes in the building where you can pull more items from.
Oh, loot boxes.
No,
I thought you
this
said
is not a
boxes.
loot game.
That's also what I thought.
When you're pantless.
I mean, I don't know. You gotta be some with this kind of thing. You
It's
gotta
true,
be careful.
but when you're pantless, it is very generously censored. So you can definitely play this with the whole family. And there's there's an item shop, of course, which includes shit to what are they called in English? Like you can shove some stuff up your rectum for some abilities. And of course, the more you shove up there, the more it's taking
repositories.
Yeah, something like that. The more it's taking up space in your colon, which again makes you more vulnerable to damage. That sort of thinking, that's the mindset you're gonna have to.
I love that shit.
Yes, literally. And it's structured in a sort of rogue light manner where you are running through, I think it was 3 buildings with a final stage at the end that has an extra challenge, and then you get a credits roll. So you have to, and in between you always have these like item shop breaks. And we were actually really surprised that we managed to get to the end of it all in, I think, like the second session or whatever, especially since the final stage has a big ass platforming challenge that spans itself through a long time. And my core buddy, like, their kryptonite is platforming in video games, and it was actually genuinely like a personal achievement for them to get through that gauntlet. That was quite the exciting evening we had. And of course, at the end, you get to hold your hands while you shit on the golden throne, and it's just one of the most beautiful bonding experiences one can think of, really. So that's we gotta go.
I definitely have seen this before.
Yeah.
But let this be a lesson that if you want to really be friends with Matt, just make sure to go to the bathroom together and start up a conversation.
Mm-hmm. That's the way to do it.
Yeah, I've definitely come across this before on Steam.
I think this is also recent, though.
And this sounds delightful. Yeah.
Yeah. I think I just found this like by chance. It just coincidentally crossed my path in some way.
Yeah.
So very lucky for me. Oh, and there's a third co-op game I forgot about that we just played last night, my friend and I, which is my obligatory bird game for this, the second bird game in this episode so far. Another brand new release called Flock Around, where you and your friends go around and take pictures of birds, and that is it. Which is, again, I guess you could match this into the newfangled category of friend slop as well. Very much. There's no threat, no timely. There's no pacing or whatever that you have to abide by. You can just chill, take your time to take pictures of every single bird type in each biome as you unlock multiple biomes, and you have a book where you're tasked to take 4 pictures of each bird in specific poses, and they have to be good pictures. They are being graded by the game and whatnot. And it's just like a chill hangout game to look at birds. And my friend and I, we are both bird fans, so we had a good time. There's one biome that actually does have a rock pigeon in there, which made both of us very excited. We made sure to get all the 3-star pictures of that critter. So good shit. We did technically beat this, I would say, because we did unlock all the biomes that are there. But we didn't yet fill the picture book with pictures of every bird, let alone all like highest grade pictures of each bird and whatnot. So we might actually go back to this at the next fucking game and chat session or whatever and clean it up more. It's a good chill time. Very basic. Doesn't need to be more fancy than it is to function though, and it's chill. If you like birds, especially, very chill. Another bird game. This one's solo though. I played Mohun X, which was on sale recently, so I jumped on that. I think I in multiple episodes by now I explained what Mohun is. It's the backbone of the German video game industry. It's a long-running franchise spanning probably 100 different titles in all sorts of genres, spawning from originally an advert game. A video game advertising whiskey in like German bars that you were able to play on like a computer there. That's where it came from in the 90s. Was so popular that it spawned an eternal mass of like home platform releases. It's genuinely a long running phenomenon in Germany. Everybody knows this shit. And Mohun X is like one of those home releases. I think this one came out in 2000 or whatever, so it's not a fresh one, but it's a good one. It's a bit more polished than the original. It has the whole thing is just one screen where you can, slightly move left to right as you shoot out of these crazy chickens. That's a Mohun. It's like a swamp chicken or whatever the fuck. And you just shoot them for 2 minutes to try to get the highest score possible, and that is it. Funny thing with this one is though they try to spruce it up a little bit by having a couple like Easter eggs and hidden features, hidden mechanics in the environment where you have to not just be quick and shoot the chicken, but understand the sequences of a couple specific parts of the map where you can, if you do it right, if you understand what you're supposed to do there, get more points. Like, I don't know, there's a broken down oven in the fields that somebody threw out, I guess, and there's a chicken sometimes poking their head out. And if you just time it right to shoot the button on the thing, the oven actually turns on and you get an extra, get some extra bonus points in these things. There are some hedgehogs playing poker at a table, and for some reason there is like a little blackjack mini game by shooting the cards that are next to the table, where you can gamble on some points. Like all of these quirky little tiny ideas to give this 2-minute game just a little bit more depth, and it's actually pretty cute. You can get this again like for I think $3 or whatever on Steam. Mohun is a gem of a franchise, and I love them. And I didn't actually, we are gonna talk about Advergames later, and this is originally an advert game, advertising whiskey, at least the original game, and I didn't even make that connection until like really late, which is very fitting, I guess. Good timing. Now
Yeah.
This was about half of my list. I'm gonna try to speed through the rest. Because I played through a whole bunch of browser games like Java and Flash games, mostly specifically for the subject at hand today, the Advergame stuff. So I have a bunch of advertising games here. While I'm staying at Mohun, I'm going to continue with that because I have played another Mohun game through that. A Flash port of a Mohun game that is that was released back in 2000 to host a nationwide contest of Mohun, apparently. So this is a big historic piece of video game, of German video game history. And the release is, I guess, just called Erste Deutsche Mohun-Meisterschaft, which literally just means the first German Mohun championship or contest. And this is just an archived Flash game that does the original Mohun game in a really like dumbed down way to fit the actual game into Flash games. So nothing special, but it was funny to see this version through the Flashpoint archive, considering the long-standing legacy of this franchise. It baffles me though that there is a big attempt at doing this like national championship event where you could like win a car with this chicken on the side and whatnot. Like you had actual prizes, and the way they do it is through this whack ass browser game version, not actually the real PC install. It sucks because this doesn't play well at all. It's really rough shit, but I'm complaining about this 26 years too late, so I guess I shouldn't be too much about that.
You never know who's listening.
maybe the next German Mohun Championships will do a better job. I'm sure that will happen someday. So I played a bunch of Flash games that were like based on, I don't know, TV shows and whatnot. There's a thing called Disney's Fillmore mystery game. Disney's Fillmore was a crime cartoon for kids about set at I think a middle school or whatever, which is a dope show, but they never got a real video games. Yeah. So there's a couple Flash games, so that kind of made me curious. This is a very basic point and click adventure game with like different mini games a la Frogger and whatnot in there. It's nothing special, but hey, at least Fillmore got a decent game, I guess. And it's advertising the I don't know if it's advertising the show as much as it is just a tie-in thing, but I guess that is a debatable thing with a lot of these. The next game is definitely advertising blatantly the product it is about. Jungle to Jungle Feed Mythica was a 1996 browser game for the what's his name? Tim Allen comedy.
Tim Allen, yeah.
Yeah, Jungle to Jungle. Does anybody remember that shit? Apparently, that I didn't even know in the 90s there were browser game advertisements. It's a bit before my time, I think. But this is Mythica was the pet spider of the Jesus Christ. Do I have Jungle to Jungle is a movie where Tim Allen gets his son who grew up in like tribal with like tribesmen, gets him to I think New York, and then hijinks ensues as this tribal boy has to deal in the big city and whatnot. Like that's the premise of this movie. And Mythica,
Jungle to Concrete Jungle.
Right. And Mythica.
This kid grew up to be Jimmy Olsen in Superman Returns. Actually,
oh my God.
Huntington. I remember at the time a lot of people my age at the time, girls were going crazy over him in this movie.
Yeah, so I could see that.
Hilarious.
Yeah. I remember watching this shit on free TV as well back in the day when I was a kid a couple times, but it's been a long fucking time. Mythica was the kid's pet spider, and in this game you are tasked. This like tiny screen, pixelated graphics. You're supposed to shoot flies with a blow dart gun, Space Invader style, where shit can get in your way, and if you hit if you hit something you're not supposed to hit, you get like points removed from your score. But if you hit the tiny fucking fly at the top of the screen, you get points, and it's genuinely the smallest fucking target that I've ever seen in a game like this. It's like 2 pixels wide, and your blow gun dart, of course, is also not much bigger. It's the most finicky of these games I've ever seen. And I played it for like 10 minutes or whatever, trying to get a decent score. So if anybody out there is really fiending for a score to beat in Jungle to Jungle Feed Mythica, I think my score was 2200. Oh no, my score is fucking 1100. This game sucks. But it was advertising the movie, and that's fitting for the episode, I guess. I also played Jet Extreme 3D Racing. Does anybody here remember or know what Jetix is?
Yes, that was my
Okay.
shit.
Yes.
Okay, I'm glad to hear, so I don't really have to.
I was too old for that, but I do remember
Yeah.
the little robot thingy.
So it was basically
Yeah, it was actually there was stuff like Get Ed or Super Robot Monkey Team
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Hyperforce Go on it and stuff like that.
So it was basically a TV channel block for specific audience with cartoons, I guess, is how you would describe that, I think. And this Jet Extreme 3D Racing was a flash game that's trying to advertise some shows on there by way of giving you an Antigrav racing game, a one-track Antigrav racing game, full 3D, and like each of the vehicles is like based on like one of the shows on the in this TV block or whatever the fuck. It's interesting, but it's not great. But it's fine, I guess. I played this 3 times even because you can actually unlock like a special car or whatever and like customizable decals based on the shows and whatnot. I played through this 3 times just to see what you can get. Not that it's like worth mentioning at all, but I don't know. This was, if I was a kid, I would be all over this. It's like Wipeout in my browser, even if it's a shit kind. Another game that was not great was Disney's Treasure Planet Solar Surfer, which sucks ass. You just go on a 2D plane and try to dodge asteroids until you die and get a high score. Shit game. Don't want to talk about it. Sugar Rush Speedway, based on the I'm trying to blast through this. Sugar Rush Speedway, based on the Wreck-It Ralph in lore game, was actually kind of dope. In Wreck-It Ralph, one of the major games that is in this movie is a kart racing arcade machine based on Candy. And I honestly always kind of hoped that they would actually make that into a real game because the setting actually was pretty fun and had good potential for a good kart racing game. And there's a thing called All-Star Fruit Racing, which very obviously seems to be inspired by that concept, but that's not like a really good game, so there's still room to improve. Unfortunately, this Java game here is the only official attempt at actually gamifying the concept from the movie, and it is a proper 3D racing game with 12 racetracks. But of course,
Oh wow.
but of course it's like it's clunky. It's not like the cars don't feel that great. The stats of the different cars don't really make that much sense. There really is obvious, this car is just better. Why would you take any other car? That sort of thing. And the power-ups are also very, I don't know, cheap. For some reason, the equivalent to the blue shell in Mario in this game just shows up the most of anything. And it's dumb. I don't know. It's not the worst game I've ever played, and I did spend 45 minutes on this shit. But again, there's still room for improvement. Why can't anybody just make a real Sugar Rush Speedway? Don't we all long for it? Am I the only one?
You are.
I guess
Maybe there's simply nobody in this Walmart of a world who wants a Sugar Rush Speedway the way you do.
Yeah, I guess so. We need to bring back Wreck-It Ralph so people can understand again, remember it.
I would play that also.
Good.
There was that Disney Speed Rush or whatever that I played for a while, but it was kind of like a trash version of that where like it was just you didn't get to pick like which characters you unlocked. It was just like finish a race, you get a random character.
Oh, that's the free-to-play one.
I know that was yeah. I don't know if it's still going, but it didn't seem like it had very long legs anyway. So
I always wanted to try that, but honestly, a Disney free-to-play game does sound like hell. So I feel like I dodged a bullet there.
Sounds unappealing.
Yeah. What did sound appealing is Hot Wheels Full Power Pinball, because I do like Hot Wheels and I do like pinball. This was apparently a browser game that advertised a new line, a new line of Hot Wheels cars with 4 cars that each get their own table to play pinball on. which functionally were very similar, but the skin was changed, which was fun. The most curious thing with this one is that one of the cars you need to unlock by typing in a code from an actual Hot Wheels toy, which does not exist anymore. From what I understand from the in-game text, those codes also were not reusable. So there's probably it's just a mess. It's just nonsense. But of course, the archived version here that I was graciously able to play through Flashpoint has, a modded thing where you can get the almost lost unlockable table, which again, very close to the other ones anyway, but this is a decent pinball game. The problem is the ball is way too bouncy. You can have it's really hard to do any precise shots with this, and that sucks. So I'm not gonna spend too much time with this. My scores are on the howlongtobeat.com page. If you wanna try to beat them, be my guest. Final one before I lose my voice talking about this nonsense. Fruchttigerleitung los is another German little gem. This is a browser game advertising a German juice drink called Fruchttiger, Fruit Tiger.
That explains the name.
Yeah. The whole game is basically just, pipe dream. The whole, build the pipe from A to B before the fluid runs through, and that's it. Pretty epic. I've played worse Advergames, but those are all my beaten games. Fucking end this, please.
Well, I can end it by pointing out that I don't really have any games that I beat that I want to talk about, but I can go right into the next section because I actually have a good amount to say about the game I retired, although it's kind of more of a story than I guess talking about the game to an extent.
Okay.
I'm just gonna kind of wing it because this was just fucking frustrating, actually. So, as I'm sure people have noticed if they've been watching this podcast enough, I like going into sports games and making a roster of players I want to play with or whatever for franchise mode and all that stuff. And I haven't played a ton of basketball games that are emulatable. So I thought I would play an early Dreamcast basketball game, NBA 2K1. Oh. So I wanted to make an Allen Iverson. I had an idea for it. And for some reason, it was really difficult. First, it took me a moment to get the emulation working, but that didn't take too long. The menu system for this game is kind of funky because it's circular, so it's not necessarily you move your control stick, it doesn't always go where you want to go.
Oh no.
You know what I mean? A bit annoying. Then when I got there, I had a lot of frustrations because some of the options. The funny thing is, this is a light game too, but some of the options, there wasn't an option to modify the roster limit because you have a point system rather than full contracts, since this is an older game overall. So I couldn't quite get what I put together. I probably spent 40 minutes fucking around with trades, being frustrated I couldn't do certain things I wanted, and then eventually coming to something I liked. But then I started up the game, and this is the kind of thing where I'm just going to say right now, I don't know what I was doing, but this is definitely some kind of skill issue on my end. I can't imagine the game is actually meant to function this way. You know what I mean? I have to be doing something wrong. The game would not have been liked by people if the way it played was intentional. But, it's almost impossible to shoot in this game because you have no moves. The post-up doesn't really work well. The hitboxes on the players are a bit too large, so when you try to charge, you get stopped, even though in real life you would be able to move around them. You can watch that whenever you watch the NBA kind of thing. Yeah. And, there wasn't a spin bun or, there was a cross-up bun. But a lot of times, one, you get to choose the cross-up from what I could tell, and two, the cross-up wasn't very effective. And then on top of that, the AI didn't really seem very effective in terms of understanding court spacing and movement unless you were very specific telling them. So you got no movement, you can't get open, and you're just fucked.
Damn.
Like, I played like a quarter and a half, and I've played multiple basketball games, including later NBA 2K games where I played them fine. When this game I had like 10 points. Like, it just doesn't get open. And like, I was mostly controlling Allen Iverson. He's one of the best shooters ever, and he's great in the game statistically. So it's not like I was just playing someone who sucked, and that's why it wasn't happening. And I know there must be something I'm doing wrong. I don't know what it is. But they didn't make a game where you can't ever get open. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
And then like, so that's why I retired this game, by the way. I might go back to it at some point. Maybe I'll like watch somebody else or see if there's like a discussion about it or something. Because, like I said, I know this has to be user error. And I'll also say I didn't put it on here or even the playing segment. But then I went to go like back to NBA Jam 99, which I enjoyed at the time. And that had some struggles with putting the roster together one. So the main point I'm saying is I spent one day playing about 3 different basketball games for probably about 4 hours and got absolutely no results and maybe like a quarter and a half of gameplay. And I didn't even get to put together a team I wanted. And it was very shitty.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. That sounds like a miserable time.
I feel like
It was.
I feel like NBA Jam is the only time that I've ever been able to score in a basketball game. Like, I don't know what it is about how they're made or the way I play games, but I can never seem to do any sort of scoring in basketball games.
Yeah, me neither.
I
Because I don't play these.
Well, I stick to hockey.
I was able to do it in like NBA 2K12. I like NBA Live 09. That game is too easy to score in because if you just drive at the rim at every time, the AI is just badly programmed. They don't know how to handle it, kind of thing. Anyway, that's all I really had that I retired in.
Maybe it's just an innovative basketball game where you're that's throwless. I don't know. Maybe it's supposed to kick. Have you tried that?
Yes, NBA kick. The K stands for kick.
I would play that, but I guess that's just soccer. But yeah,
yeah, exactly. Well, I hope you figure out how to deal with your balls. Yeah.
Yeah.
Leah, how about you? Continue.
Yeah. What I have retired lately is Superstar Hockey and Hockey All Stars 24, only because I just stopped playing them, and my phone the other day was just like, "Hey, you haven't opened this in a long time. Like, do you want to play them now?" And I was like, "I don't actually. Like, I don't know why I have them on my phone still, so I might as well just delete them." Like, I had to go through my phone and just like delete a bunch of apps that I kind of forgot that I had downloaded. So it reminds me every once in a while to be like, "Hey, do you want to do something with this, or we're just gonna keep using this space for no reason?"
Yeah.
So yeah, like I haven't touched either of those for a while. So that's that. RV Dare Yet, I have retired only because I left the Discord where I was playing this game with the people.
Oh.
So this is yet another friend slop game that I have maybe not tricked, but probably influenced into buying that is now going to end up on my retired list.
Tricked into buying.
Yeah.
Sometimes
so
that happens.
I mean, it's a fun game. So I'm glad that it's on. Like I own it, I guess tentatively as you can with a digital game.
Right.
But yeah, I probably won't be playing this alone for foreseeable future. So it may be paused, it may be retired. We'll see. Next, I have HuniePop, which I really like the sequel because it's about the sequel has like cam girls or whatever, and it doesn't have the match 3 aspect to it. But multiple people had told me that HuniePop is actually a really fun game, and I should like give it a try or whatever. And I think I must have gotten it for free or for like a very low discount or whatever. But what nobody was expecting was how much I hate match 3 and visual novels.
Preach.
Gameplay put together. So I think I got through like the first girl's date and I was like, I'm done with this game. Uninstall after 5 minutes of play. So yeah, that's the end of that one.
Yeah, I never got the appeal of that one either, to be honest.
The cam girl one is kind of cute because there's like a lot of things that you have to, go around town and figure out. Like you got to get them clothes, you got to get them makeup, you got to get them little like objects to use on their cam girl streams. So it's a little bit more of a management sim, but eventually even that one I was like, you can just ends because you run out of money. So
Oh.
I was like, I can't even like continue playing this. I have to like restart it. So I was like, I gave up on that one too. That was a while ago. Next I have Draftula, which is a cute little gem of an itch game where it's basically you draft/build a castle using like rooms, like a Tetris style sort of thing. So they give you like little rooms and they give you like the little map and you're supposed to build a castle with the rooms and try to make the highest castle possible. I think is the point of the game, because like at the end it tells you just how tall your castle is. But again, it's an itch game, so it's not like I can really save my progress or whatever. So I got at one point I got up to a height of like 12 blocks. And I was like, it's pretty good. I think, you know, for an itch game, I'm doing well. And then I checked the comments and somebody had made it up to like 40 or 50 blocks high. And I was like, I do not have the time nor the energy to play this game for that long, because it's one of those things that's kind of like Balatro, where like you finish a level and then you get points for how many things you did connected to the rooms. So you get like 5 coins if this room was next to that or whatever, and then you can spend those in the store to buy another type of room or like another set of rooms, and then you use that in the next round. I was like, I do not have the time or patience to go through and make it that high of a game. It is a cute concept, but yeah, so that's why I kind of gave that one up. RTFM, which is the acronym Read the Fucking Manual, which is another one of these co-op games, kind of like Keep Talking and Nobody Explodes.
Oh yeah.
Where like two people and one person is supposed to have like the game open and the other person has like the PDF on their phone or computer or whatever, and you're supposed to like talk it through between what you're seeing on the screen versus what's in the PDF. The problem is that we could not get through the first scenario. Like the first scenario is like 4 shapes, and each shape pertains to a letter. So you're supposed to be like, okay, find out what those letters mean, type in the letters, and that's supposed to be the gist of it. There's like 2 columns of the letters, and we tried every variation of every single letter that we saw on those shapes, and it wasn't letting me through. And it just like keeps adding time to your timer or whatever. So I was like, something's wrong with this. Quit this. We'll come back to this. Booted it up again. Booted it up 3 more times, and it still wouldn't let me go through. Whatever combination that it was giving us was not letting me get through. So I don't know if it's a bug in the game. Nobody else was mentioning it in the comments on itch, so I don't know. I do like these kinds of games, so I'm willing to try it again later. But for now, it was like we can't get through the first scenario, and I think it's supposed to be like a 5 scenario thing. So I just gave up on that. And my last game I have here is a Marble Sort, which is just a mobile game, sort of like those games where they give you like a little bus or like a little spool or whatever, and you're supposed to like collect like all the different colors onto those bus or whatever.
Oh yeah.
This one's basically just marbles. So like they give you I think it's like a little square of 9 marbles at a time, and you're supposed to bring it down into like this little conveyor belt, and the conveyor belt will dole it out into the little boxes of 4 or I think it's 3 at a time. So you have to like decide which ones which marbles to get onto the conveyor belt at a time, so they can get like to the next, I don't know, blocks of 3 or whatever. I really got into this. I think at one point I was like up to like level 76 or something. I had dreams about this game. I was thinking about solutions while I was doing my errands. Like I was just sitting there, you know, like at the grocery store being like, oh, dark green first and then white. Like, okay, yes, I'm going to try that next time. Like, so I was like playing full decades of levels while listening to like audiobooks and like music or whatever. And then I just got to that one level that no matter which way I tried, could not figure it out. And this is not one of those games. Like a lot of these games tend to be like, if you want like a bonus little tool to help you or whatever, watch an ad or something. This game does not let you do that. So I was like, all right, I guess I'm done here because I can't figure out how to get through this level after like 20 times or whatever. So I have uninstalled that one. But that one's also...
Yeah.
If you need one of those idle games,
I respect that you uninstalled it immediately and didn't do the thing that I did, where I had the app just for years on my phone taunting me. Good decision on your part.
Yeah.
I mean, if you don't have something kind of needling you, you don't have anything, you know?
Sure, yeah.
I miss it though because like it became my thing to listen to play while I was like listening to an audiobook or like doing some like audio thing. So I was like, now what do? I need another game exactly like that, but not that.
Was there no,
But-
I don't know, playthrough on YouTube or whatever to look up the solution?
I didn't look, honestly.
I think that would have been my.
It's possible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Yeah. I know at some point I will find some other water sword sort of
Right.
not screw bolt puzzle thing that I will play for like the next 60 levels or something. So I'm not too concerned, but
Yeah. Probably.
I don't know
enough
why
out
that
there.
one was so particularly addicting. But yeah, that's what I've retired and paused.
Right. I have retired a couple of things as well. None of them really that dramatic. The one I previously mentioned being Unstung, the VR real-time strategy game in a flower field with all the bees. Still love the concept. I said the last time that it's I don't know, I'm not good at it. I love the concept, but I'm not good at it. And I was planning originally to try it again on easy difficulty, but I just didn't really feel it. So sensible thing, clean up the playing tab, get rid of it for now. Might look at it at another point, possibly. Another game that I picked up for one evening to play with friends, and then I guess technically paused again, is Super Indie Cards, the eternally early access card racing game based on indie games. We're counting 12 years of early access right now, but it is.
Oh my god!
I have previously praised this game because it is generally really cool. What is there is already super polished and really fun and colorful and creative. And I did play this the last time, I believe 2 or 3 years ago, and I did notice genuinely a bunch of new things that have been added since then in terms of races and items, especially. So the active development is genuinely still ongoing, and currently the developer is claiming to genuinely get to the final release this year, and I do believe they mean that genuinely and are not just putting it out there nilly-vanilly. Of course, there could be delays, as is always the potential case for probably like one-person developers. I'm not sure if there's really a team behind this. So I'm not going to blame them if the early access goes for even longer. But if it actually does release this year, I'm going to be very excited to finally play through the proper full game, because this is one of the best kart racing games I have ever played. I think I said this before. But for now, paused again. And the third and final thing that I retired for good is another leftover of the previous bundle of browser games. This one is called GeForce Team Tactics, which was an advertising or tie-in game for the gerbil movie called GeForce, like the gerbil special agent movie, which I did see in the cinema back then in full 3D even. I think this is probably like 12 years old or whatever, something like that.
What, really?
I would assume so, maybe more even. While you look that up. The game here, though, is actually seems decent. It seems to be a full-fledged 2D puzzle platformer where the different you build full-on like squads of characters which all have their different abilities, and then have to get them from point A to point B using their different abilities to open up the different obstacles for each character. It seems to be a pretty well thought out, clever game, mechanically speaking, and there seems to be a proper good amount of content, like a full campaign. Just wasn't the game I was in the mood for, so that's the only reason why I like retired this after 10 minutes of trying it out. So how old is GeForce? I am curious now.
2009.
Yeah, it's even older, 17 years old. Yeah, that checks out, honestly. Not a great movie, but that like
it tried some things.
It did, and it was pretty epic to see the action scene of the little housefly flying through Venus flytraps in 3D in the cinema. That was the highlight of the whole thing. And even shit like this got a full-fledged home console game and like multiple Flash games and shit. That What a world that was. But that is my retired games. So moving on to what we are playing right now before we move into the discussion topic. What are you playing?
Should I start since
Yeah, how's your Wordle
you
going?
two have, I imagine you two are a bit tired. Now admittedly, I don't necessarily have a ton to say. I do have Wordle, which I got in 3 today.
Nice.
The new streak is still ongoing. I'm at 57 according to the Wordle website.
Still streaking.
You know, so that's right. Sometimes you just got to streak.
Yeah.
But I don't know, like I played Tabletop Simulator, same kind of stuff. I played some Civ 4, nothing much to say. I did more Madden roster building without actually doing much. Although part of that was because the NFL draft just happened. I had wanted to do Madden 12 next, which is like a roster mod of like Madden 12. I wanted to try and get the new rookies, so I downloaded some of the draft classes people had done for that. But like, they don't feel accurate either, both to real life and how Madden would actually do the draft classes. The stats seemed really off somehow. So I got to that point, and then I felt like I just didn't want to continue that anymore. I wanted to just not do that because that was the whole point of what I had started the franchise for, was all the rookies and stuff, and it just didn't work out well. I actually forgot to put on here, but then I started up a Madden 07, which is the one I played the most. Game instead. I started up an actual game after doing the roster, had some fun. There's not much to say because I've talked about Madden a bunch, but kind of did that. And then the main thing I did was one of my friends, we were looking for a game to play that was modestly length and stuff. And I really liked the Klonoa games after I played them a few years back. He hasn't played them or multiple other platformers. So we decided to start up and play Klonoa at the same time together. So I've been going through that again. Took a bit to get used to the controls, but game still looks very nice on the PS1. Game still has pretty good controls. The music is still good. We're only about 3 levels in, so I can't say too much. But going through it again, I still remember a bunch of stuff about this. I'm like, yeah, I remember this shit was good. It still is.
Hell yeah.
So it's like, I don't really have much complex to say about it yet. My friend enjoyed it, but they also aren't far enough in to have too much of a strong opinion. And that's kind of all, honestly.
Yeah, did Klonoa get like a proper re-release or something, or did I dream that? Is that available?
Yeah, Klonoa got a re-release. It's like Fantasy Reverie, yeah. Like, that was on Switch.
Yeah.
I think it came to PC and PlayStation. I don't know if it came to Xbox.
Is that so?
What comes to Xbox anymore?
Klonoa feels like one of those cult classics that everybody heard about at some point, especially before it actually was so available. Is it, like, looking at it, does it feel like a Kirby 64 or something? Because it does very much seem in a similar space.
Kirby 64 is definitely a good comparison because it has like the 2.5D 3D platforming, and it's more of a puzzle platformer than like a fast-paced platformer for the first game. The second game too, but the second game is a bit faster. The game I actually compare it to the most in my head is Yoshi's Island, which I think is like a strong comparison.
Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah.
Because you can pick up enemies and you can throw them around, and that's used for a lot of puzzles.
Yeah.
There's multiple secrets that are like Yoshi's Island. You walk somewhere where you think there might be something invisible and it appears and stuff like that. So I feel like it's Yoshi's Island with gameplay elements of like Kirby 64 and maybe a feel kind of like that. Klonoa even has like a flutter jump, like a hover.
Oh, hell yeah.
So it's very Yoshi. Like, if you like Yoshi's Island.
Yeah, I would have said something like Super Mario 2 or something. Yeah, a lot of like those secret paths.
This is selling me more on Klonoa than anything I've ever heard before. That sounds good.
Yeah.
I don't think I ever finished it, but I had like the demo.
Well, I recommend finishing it. It gets kind of tough near the end, but in like an interesting way. They do they put a surprising amount of story in there to an extent, honestly. Now, Klonoa 2 does more of that, and I do like Klonoa 2 better, I will say, but they're both really good. But if you like Yoshi's Island at all, then I highly recommend trying Klonoa. It's very good.
Yeah, I'm gonna put that on my list.
It's not
for
that
sure.
long either. I think it's only about 6 hours.
Yeah, true. That is what How Long to Beat says as well.
Really?
Yeah. And I will say, I probably would recommend playing the original rather than Fantasy Reverie in a general
Okay.
sense. But if you don't want to, because you don't want to emulate or whatever, then Fantasy Reverie is totally fine. But the thing with Fantasy Reverie is the first game is based on the Wii remake of the first game, because there was already a Wii remake, albeit with the PS1 models for whatever reason. But the PS1 original
Okay.
has more cuts, has like better cuts,
No.
and I would say generally actually looks a bit better. They basically play the same. So if you don't really care much about that, then it's like whatever.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep an eye out for that for sure.
I think that gets across basically what I was playing.
Yeah. So you started yours with Wordle. How about Leah continues with Wordle? I feel like that makes sense.
Yeah. I don't really have much to say with Wordle. I got item 4 today. Murdle, I have yet to do for today. Well, I did the mini puzzle for today, but I didn't do the main puzzle yet. Because I was up at like 2 in the morning and I was like, oh, it's past midnight. Let me do everything. And then I just looked at the main one and I was like, it's a Saturday puzzle. I'm not doing that because that's way too many things to figure out at 2 in the morning. But the creator of Murdle also put out another daily puzzle called Letterinth, which is basically it's a quote in the form of a grid, and you're supposed to make a line through all the letters once to figure out what the quote is. This is sort of a puzzle that used to be in the free newspapers in the New York subways also, and I also used to love doing these first, so it's nice. Apparently there's a book coming out with a bunch of these, so that's nice to have as part of my daily puzzles in the morning now. I cheat a lot, honestly, with this one because like I don't think I have finished the majority of them without at least like 6 hints. There was one that I did without any, and I felt like a god, but that was only because I looked at who the quote was from, and I was like, I know what quote this is immediately, and I was able to figure it out. So, I mean, I'm not that gifted in figuring this one out that much, but I do like playing these puzzles. So that's that. NHL 22, I haven't been playing too much of that. I haven't had a lot of time. I have kind of fell off playing with my pro career player, and basically anytime I jump into this, I've been playing NHL ones because I can do like a game or two, and then it's like, oh, gotta go do something else. So then I gotta turn it off. That's short. Another one that's short is Tomb Raider because it's game of the month. The original Tomb Raider is game of the month, so I thought I would boot that up. Booted it up, was able to play through the tutorial section of the mansion, and then I had to turn it off and go do something else. So I haven't played too much of that one either, but it is on my goals for this year was to at least get through the original 9 games that there were.
Oh my god.
So we'll see. I have most of them on Epic. I have like the remastered original trilogy, and then I've got the other ones Epic just gave away very slowly. So technically I have them on PlayStation 1, but
Right.
Again, easier to play on PC.
When you get to 4, let me know. I might join you on that one. That's the one I had as a kid and I never beat. I'm curious about that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and the last thing I have on here is called, I believe, it's called Toripon, which, if anyone is familiar with Paparazzi, this is the bird version of that game. It's basically Pokemon Snap for birds.
Oh.
But the problem here is that it's a very pixelated art style where it just feels too pixelated, where I feel like the main character just needs glasses. Because like everything sort of moves in a pixelated fashion as you're moving around. The birds are hopping around, but like also the environment is moving, and I'm like, I can't tell what's a bird and what's just like the space moving around me. So I guess that part of it is like try to find the birds, but I'm like, if I can't see what the hell I'm looking at, how am I supposed to, seems like it upped the difficulty a little bit too much. So I eventually went around and I did as many birds as I could find on my own. Be like, oh, this one's in the sink, this one's in the tub, this one's hiding in a drawer. Okay, fine.
Natural
and then
places for
I
birds,
became
yeah.
And then it just became that Sunny meme of Danny DeVito where I'm like, I just started shooting photos of everything I could and like walked around the house like multiple times, just like standing, kneeling, and just went around, did every single room I could find, bird on the Roomba, bird in the bird on the bathtub, like whatever. So
Bird on the
I went
Roomba.
around, found every bird that I could find, took multiple pictures of nothing, and I still had like so many birds left to find. And I was like, there's nothing else for me to take a photo of. So like, I didn't even find. Apparently, there's like cockatiels. All I could find were like budgies. So I was like, I didn't even find cockatiels. This is terrible. So I mean, it gets half points for being about birds, but I would give it like a 6 out of 10. I do want to go back and see if I can find the cockatiels because that's very important to me. But other than that, like, I don't know what else I'm supposed to do in this game. So
I cannot believe we had 2 bird photography games in this episode.
Yeah.
That's kind of wild.
I was going to play Flock Around myself, actually. I have the demo. I just didn't get around to it.
It sounds like you will probably enjoy that more. Yeah.
Probably. Yeah, that's what I've got.
Oh, yeah. That's okay. So I am playing stuff as well. As always, the stuff that I've previously mentioned. First, still doing pinballs. I noticed a lot of the games I've been playing recently are like casual games and like so-called podcast games and whatever. Feels like no real proper commitment. Small Saga was the last one. So I have a bunch of I don't know, non-consequential shit.
I mean, maybe sometimes, you get some stuff going on in your life. You just want to fuck around with some pinball or something,
Yeah, pretty much. So I'm still spending time on Pinball FX and Pinball FX Midnight, as it's called now. I don't know if the name change was already happening before the last episode, but this game used to be called Pinball M and recently was rebranded as Pinball FX Midnight, which is, again, as a reminder, this is Pinball FX's side hustle with pinball games that are rated R. So it's it's as hardcore as pinball can get. It's really dumb, but it's neat. So my main focus is in Pinball FX. Unfortunately, the My Little Pony pinball table that I was talking about last time, went out of the rotation of 3 tables.
No.
And I haven't, I'm looking out for proper sales so I can actually purchase the table, but right now it didn't seem worth it because I do, like I said last time, properly get the wizard mode on the My Little Pony table. But for now, I have to do some other stuff. Doing like May 4th shenanigans. I bought a bunch of Star Wars pinball tables in this game, which were cheap as hell. So I was looking around on those. None of them really grabbed me yet, but I still haven't even looked at all of them. There's too many Star Wars pinball tables in this world, I feel. What grabbed me more is the table for John Carpenter's The Thing in Pinball FX Midnight.
Oh, of course.
My favorite movie of all time, possibly, and the table is equally as engaging in a way. It is this is a thing that keeps surprising me with these pinball games or pinball tables in general, is how much they are committed at somehow replicating elements of the media that are based on the fucking pinball table. Like in this The Thing pinball table, there are mission modes to trigger and go through that are genuinely as close as a pinball table could, are recreating scenes from the movie. Where in the movie early on, you have a whole a dog mutate into a tentacle monster and assimilate other dogs and whatnot in a kennel. You have that here as well, full on with a little nasty tentacly figurine on the table that pops up, and you have to shoot little tentacles spread around the table to fight back against it and shit like that. It's really funny to me. And these modes are so elaborate. There's so many stages to some of them. I haven't yet even been able to finish one of these modes, which is not when you play a pinball table, your main goal while racking up those points is to do all the little things, and then I guess activate the so-called wizard mode if the table has one. And all of these little modes representing the scenes of the movie are, in that sense, from that point of view, the little things you're supposed to do. And I still haven't even managed to clear one of them before, running out of balls. And I wanna say I'm not terrible at pinball. I feel like I have pretty decent control over them balls in there. But somehow, something about this thing table actually seems more difficult than other tables, which is in a way in itself a wild concept to me. I don't know if people like really think about difficulty as a measurement when it comes to between like different pinball tables, but I do have to say the My Little Pony one, while not like super easy, definitely had less requirements to clear stuff, I feel, than this thing table. So this is, I think, if I'm gonna keep at it, this is, I guess, but if I'm gonna keep at it, this does seem like it might be a bit of a project, like even more so than wanting to do wizard mode on the My Little Pony table. But I do dig the vibe of it. I do dig the presentation, so I'm definitely keen to keep doing some more hours on this. And I haven't even done the different game modes that this PC release allows, or like the so-called campaign thing where you actually have to go through like 10 different challenges on the table and whatnot. So at the very least, I'm still gonna do that on this thing table. So those are very much podcast friendly. And my most time-consuming game, which I'm still playing, Gran Turismo 4, is also pretty podcast friendly. So I'm really just listening to all sorts of shit when I'm doing my video games lately.
Oh, Matt just wants to hear himself.
Yeah, I'm only listening to our own podcast and only the bits where I'm talking. Definitely. That's the only way I can wind down at the end of the day. Gran Turismo 4. I am actually, again, this game has so much optional shit and so much freedom in how you go around it. But if I'm focusing on the actual hard progress, I am past the halfway point at this point. In Gran Turismo, it is tradition to acquire licenses to be available to take part in harder events. And I have by now acquired 3 out of 5 licenses. So I'm clearly getting there. And I had a first glimpse at the rally races in this game, which I knew they were in here, though before booting up Gran Turismo 4, I had no idea Gran Turismo ever dabbled in rally stuff, so that was kind of exciting to hear. Having my first glimpses at it, though, I'm a bit worried. At least the snow-based rally races, man, that is some slippery shit. That maybe I had just had a shit car for it, but that is kind of worrying. I'm curious how that's gonna work out in the end. Most exciting thing, though, are the new cars that I got. For one, I bought a Dodge Charger, which was conveniently fitting for a event that only allowed classic vehicles. So I gunned for the Dodge Charger pretty quickly, because that is one of the 5 cars that I'm able to recognize by name, and I'm familiar with this car through Driver San Francisco, another video game that I love. And there it's the poster car, pretty much, the cover art car. So it's fun to have that in Gran Turismo 4 now. I did the same when I played Need for Speed Pro Street. I also bought a Dodge Charger and that just because I like it from other games. So here's the third that I'm dragging this into. But the most exciting thing, and also coincidentally in advertising in a video game, so fitting for the subject later, I unlocked like a super fucking tuned up sports car, like a crazy fucking good car. And it like is currently my favorite car in the entire game because of how easy it makes a lot of the races right now. And this car is like sponsored and full of like advertising decals for a thing called Aspera Drink, which of course is a real brand, as everything is in Gran Turismo. And as the name might suggest, and I did look it up, Asparadrink is an asparagus-based energy drink in Japan. I don't even know if it's still around, but that's what it used to be. And I am obsessed with driving around an asparagus drink car and fucking owning all of these races where those noobs have no shot against this tuned up car. This is one of the greatest. This is gonna go on the list of my favorite cars in racing games. The fucking asparagus energy drink car. It's so dope. And I would buy this drink. I would let this game win in advertising this product to me if I would be able to buy this drink, even if I don't care for it for the actual product. But I am very committed to this car, and I would trust it to advertise a great product to me. This is doing a good job at that. In terms of advertising games, this is the best one I've played in recent times.
Amazing.
I have 3 like new additions to my playing roster right now. One is Train Sim World 5, which this one makes me feel like I achieved ultimate old German man status. Like this is
He's finally done it.
Yeah, I finally reached it. This is one of the leading franchises when it comes to like train simulation on the market. And it's one of those things where you have like 200 fucking DLC packages of different trains, real train models, as well as actual routes around the world, which are largely based on actual real life train routes. And coincidentally, and this is basically the only reason why I bought this game, there is a DLC for my region in Germany that specifically has my work commute. And now I'm sitting here in my apartment after work, driving my work commute in this train simulator. And that is where I am at these days. It is bizarre.
Matt, between this and the game that was in where you live, people are gonna just know where you're going.
Yeah, I've given up on that shit. But it's genuinely, this is a whole new experience for me because my hometown, especially like the fucking train station that I genuinely go almost daily in my real life, is not a place that belongs in a video game that I would expect in a video game, but it's here. And while it's not like 100% accurate, it is absolutely, detailed enough to be recognizable. And it's bizarre to see this. Seeing these mundane, everyday locations from my real life in a video game is wild. And I appreciate it for that. It is funny though, the train station, my local train station, it's currently going through renovation. And this DLC came out shortly before that, so the train station still is like the old version. And it's like memorialized in this video game like a time capsule. It's kind of funny how that worked out. Like, this game is neat. Driving trains is fun, although I am playing on the easiest difficulty because, again, these trains are 100% built based on real models, official licensing and everything. You have a million different knobs and buttons to mess with. I'm playing on easiest difficulty, where I probably have to do the minimal things so I don't crash out on my way to digital walk. And it's fun though. It's like chill. Again, it's another like podcast game where you have like long stretches of train tracks to just drive through. And occasionally you can also like walk around, and there's like like collectible objectives at the train stations where you have to like hang up some posters or whatever. It just makes it even more bizarre to walk around these digital recreations of my real life environments for actual gameplay. It's very interesting. But that's what I've been doing lately.
Do you find like yourself being more sympathetic to the driver of the train when you're on the commute?
Well, see, so the thing is, Deutsche Bahn, the German train company, like I think it's internationally already like even internationally, it's a meme that the Deutsche Bahn is not on time ever.
I feel like that's most public transit, though.
In a way,
We have the
yeah.
same thing with the MTA, just being like, we rely on it all the time, but like it's not going to get you where you need to go at the time that you want to be
Yeah,
there.
I get that as a common
Like,
thing.
especially in New York, I'm always like, give it 30, like add 30 minutes to my transit because like it's not gonna show up on time,
Right,
and
yeah.
then during the trip there's gonna be even more delays. So it's like give yourself like an hour of padding time just to make sure that you'll get there in time.
I mean, so the thing is, like, I'm watching some international, travel content on YouTube sometimes, and they also travel all around Europe, and even there, those people, Deutsche Bahn is especially like a joke for them for being always late. Even
Wow.
them non-Germans experiencing all sorts of transit systems around the world, even they point that out. So I kind of feel like that reputation Deutsche Bahn has is already past the average that everybody experiences in their own land. But and with that, I was playing this game and I was actually, on time with my train. I was like, this is not the accurate experience. This is not real simulation. That's not how it works. So that's
Considering a career change.
It was kind of my experience with that. I don't know if I'm more sympathetic to. I guess like I'm watching the train come in when I'm on my way to work, and I'm like, yeah, you're doing good on them brakes. You're hitting the spot. That can be tricky in the game. So, kudos to you, I guess. Generally, though, it does make me. The other day, I was kind of wondering, like, I've never ever experienced a train not stop on the mark, like ever.
Oh,
and that's kind of like
that would bother me too.
That's kind of amazing, actually, that never happened anywhere for me. But so, I guess I have to give them kudos for actually doing something right, even if the schedule is not on time. Anyway.
Yeah.
This does come with a sort of campaign where you are having drive from this station to this station in this weather condition and whatever. Of course, in this DLC, it is a lot of the same stuff back and forth. So I'm not actually sure if I'm gonna complete it, but I'm kind of tempted to try. Because whenever will I be able to say I played through the game set in my part of the land of Germany or whatever?
Yeah.
But I wouldn't put it past me if I just retire this at some point. We will see about that. I am very curious about other DLC. They have shit like the I guess the subway in New York City and shit. Like and as presumably it is realistically recreated. So I'm actually genuinely curious to see other trains, other locations in the world be playable through this engine and whatnot. But these are not very cheap, so I'm not gonna go out there on a buying spree anytime soon.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Yeah. Like the DLC itself is like $30-$40 sometimes, depending on what. Even have like Thomas the Tank Engine in there, like.
And you do need the DLC is basically the main meat of the game. The base game only has like a tutorial campaign, and that's it. So
yeah.
Oh well, that's what the enthusiasts.
Yeah, I think
with.
I was.
Yeah.
I was looking at some of the forums for this where people were like putting up videos and like screenshots of being like, we need this line next and we need this. And I was like, I love this for these people being like so obsessed, be like, please put my commute in this game.
Yeah,
we would be honored.
It's hilarious space, that whole community. Two more games that I'm playing right now. One being called Ballpoint Universe Infinite, some forgotten indie game that's like 10 years old that I've gotten through an ancient Humble Bundle that I didn't even buy at the time for this game. It's just something that ended up on the backlog. But it is a game that scrolling through the backlog, over the years has always like kind of caught my eye, and I was like mildly wondering about it every now and then. And so recently I just decided to actually give it a shot. Ballpoint Universe is a hybrid of a 2D platforming game and a shmup, which is all set in a world of, ballpoint pen doodles. There's like a whole lore thing about quirky doodles being invaded by like logic doodles. So quirky little dudes being invaded by like angular, like blocky drawings, that sort of thing. That's like the conflict, I guess. And there's a whole thing about them taking parts of these crashed angular doodle ships and like building their own ships to fight the war or whatever. It's the plot is not really important. It's definitely very much gameplay focused, but like it's kind of a funny idea to have these different styles of like college paper doodles being in a war or whatever. The gameplay, the 2D platforming is like completely inconsequential. You walk around a place with no proper goal other than talk to NPCs, which give you shmup quests. And the shmup quests are actually where the progress of the game is. And it is a shoot 'em up, left to right scrolling shoot 'em up. With each level has its own different style, and there's a lot of like the visual presentation is one of the highlights of this game. And second highlight probably being that the ship that you're controlling is very much like a modular thing where you can purchase individual bits with individual like abilities and like sort of craft your own ship out of 4 bits of your choice, which is fun in terms of the strategy. There also seems to be a pretty strong focus on melee combat instead of the usual bullet shooting that you have in a shmup. So you do have a lot of, swords and whatnot to actually like move into the enemy and kill them, which is of course much stronger than the bullets. So much so that it's almost the only viable way to fight for these shmup levels, I feel, which gives it a completely different vibe. My only problem is like this seems to be really cool presentation, neat concepts, gameplay wise. I would have a decent time with this, but it is like functionally kind of clunky. The controls are all with the mouse, unless you go into the settings and change it manually every time to play with a keyboard or whatever. But like the 2D platforming controlled with a mouse is annoying. But if I change it to keyboard, then it would also change the shmup sections to keyboard control, which is there I would actually prefer the mouse control. Like it's all a bit annoying. And I feel like there could be a lot of improvement in that sense. I'm also a bit annoyed that in the shmup sections, the whole poof cloud effects when an enemy dies and is destroyed just takes up too much of the screen, and I like keep having trouble seeing where shit is to not run into just because of these visual effects.
Sounds pretty frustrating.
Yeah, it's very much a game that I would love to like see a second attempt because the ideas are cool, but the execution is kind of not perfect. But it's still neat and neat enough that I wanna continue to actually go through the entire campaign, which I think is only a couple hours long, so it's not that big of a deal. And the final fucking game that I'm playing right now, before we actually get into the discussion topic, I'm putting this at the end here, especially because this is another How Long to Beat After Dark title, a bit of a loot thing. So if you don't care about that shit, just skip to the next timestamp. But I'm playing a thing called Beat Refla, like reflex, but without the X at the end. I don't know why. Beat Refla, Beat Refill.
Interesting.
Which is a visual novel rhythm game. The protagonist is a guy who carries over the like massage parlor of his dad or whatever, and for some reason they have a magical cat mascot that teaches the son like this magical massage technique, of course. And so the main gameplay is
as you'd expect.
Yeah, I mean it's not like super unique in this genre, I guess. The main gameplay is, of course, rhythm mechanics during the massage sections, and of course, it's all, at least so far, female customers that enjoy the massage a lot. I don't think the game ever will go in like full on graphic, not safe for work stuff, but it is a loot game. For sure, and it's not hiding that. The rhythm stuff is neat though also kind of like it gets hard quickly because it's a controller based game, like an actual gamepad game, and the thing has you. I don't even know how to describe it. Like, it uses both sticks and all of the face buttons for the different beats.
Okay.
And that is much harder to me than just like a 4-button DDR or like a 5-button Guitar Hero. You have a lot more buttons to deal with and get on time. This is very much a game where I wouldn't be surprised if later on in the campaign I would have to switch to easy modes to get through them, because I already had a couple songs that I could not get through on like medium difficulty. But it seems like a good game so far in terms of the gameplay and presentation, polish, and it seems like a chill time. So that's what I'm playing right now. Really not too spicy, but freak, we are finally out of the games that we've beaten, retired, and played already. So it's time to move on to the discussion topic. Finally, yippee, which is advertising games, or like Advergames, as is the popular phrase for them, which are, some might say, a lost art form of video games that try to advertise products to us or any other things. And these don't really show up these days much anymore, I assume, I believe, but they were around a lot in the past. And I'm wondering what memories we have with these, good or bad. I guess that would be the first question. Do any of us remember like some actually banger advert games, and what did they advertise?
The thing is, I don't know how many of these are really played.
Come on.
I know that for me, Yo-Noid
Yeah.
was like one of the first games that I played back in the day, before I even really knew what video games really were. I remember, like, I used to play it at like my uncle's house on his PC. I didn't even own that shit. And also for me personally, on the Genesis, I had Cool Spot.
Yeah.
So Dominoes and 7-Up, that's my first two that I can think of.
It's a good combo.
Fondly.
Dominoes and 7-Up, the old school version of Dorito and Dew.
You could say that, yeah. I guess so.
Once a gamer, always a gamer.
I think the greatest advert game that I have seen ever was one for Domestos Toilet Cleaner, which was a flash game where you had to rid the toilet bowl of some germs by spreading the toilet cleaner product in the right way to hit them all. That was a good puzzle game. Of course, advertising a very enticing product. Another pee-pee-poo-poo game that I love so much. And like, why are toilet cleaner products not doing games anymore? Why is that not a thing? I feel like we should have more of those.
Yeah, I feel like Fabuloso would be a hit if they made a game for Fabuloso.
I can't believe that the one Matt wants more of is the toilet cleaner.
Yeah, surprise, surprise.
Clorox the game.
I guess I played like McDonald's Treasure Land Adventure.
Oh my
That's
God.
an advert game.
Yeah.
It was not good.
Yeah, I played like the Miss one, I think, but yeah.
Do like board game video games count? Because technically they're kind of advertising the board game.
See, I don't think.
But I don't really think so.
No, I don't think like adaptations or like proper tie-in games are the same thing as an advert game.
Right, that's what I kind of thought.
I think that's like a different niche, yeah.
Do I like playing it? I'm trying to think, because I'm trying to think what are any ones I really like. Because I did get like free cereal box.
Oh yeah, probably some in there for sure.
I know my favorite that I played for an enormous amount of time before it was like not even popular anymore, but I had the Dumb Ways to Die 1 and 2 on my phones back in the day.
Oh my God.
That's technically not really advertising, it's more like a public service announcement. But those were like, while everybody else was like playing Angry Birds like 5 or whatever, I was on those games enjoying that. Because it was basically WarioWare on my phone. So
I see. Yeah.
That was enjoyable. Apparently there's 5 of them now, so I need to catch up.
WarioWare on the phone sounded like a good time. For Wario Land. And then I spoke and
We need more WarioWare at all times.
That's right, we need a yearly WarioWare series.
It's true. Take them.
God.
I will subscribe for that shit, Nintendo.
Wow. Well, I hope they are listening. But PSA games, I do feel like they are, definitely adjacent. I mean, they're advertising at like information, I guess.
Yeah.
I have like that is reminding me of a game that I've played that is advertising for safe sex, which a game called Catch the Sperm that is educating the youth about HIV and the sorts. And the game has you
Wow.
be a little
Okay.
be a little condom gun trying to catch all the sperm in a mysterious body part.
I don't think that's how that works.
That yeah, I don't think so either. Not that I would because I'm a gamer, but that apparently there was like a whole line of games that were all like produced or sponsored by the Swiss government. And I did play one of them a couple years ago. There's a video about that game on my YouTube channel too. And it was like surprisingly good actually, because it had different kinds of like viruses and different kinds of sperms with different abilities.
Oh my God.
And like power-ups and shit. And it actually had like a fun, almost surreal visual presentation. Like it was wild, but it was also not too bad.
It kind of sounds like that COVID game you played recently.
Oh yeah, that one.
I played a lot of COVID games over the years. Oh, yeah, the actual itch.io game just called COVID-19, yeah.
Yeah, the one I had tried earlier.
Well, Catch the Sperm is much more advanced.
Oh.
Mechanically.
Well, I mean,
yeah.
You know.
But there are some bizarre ones out there. I do remember, has anyone here heard of Pyongyang Racer? The advert game by a North Korean travel agency that has you race through North Korea's.
Maybe.
Amazing.
I feel like that did sort of its rounds, years ago.
Yeah.
When people picked up on it. I remember playing it a long time ago when I was in my North Korea phase.
Okay.
That's you talk about out of statement.
Like you do.
Statements. I think that's a big one.
Did you not have a North Korea phase? There was generally like a good couple.
I can't say I did.
No.
Oh my God.
Jokes aside, I've been interested in North Korea in the past a lot, and there were definitely a couple of years where I was really into the history of that fascinating, strange government and country. And that's definitely where I found shit like Pyongyang Racer as well. That was a while ago, though.
I think the strangest ones. I mean, there's some like the "I Love You, Colonel Sanders" one.
Is that advertising KFC though? Is that officially tied to KFC?
I think so.
Oh wow!
I think it was like for Valentine's Day or something.
Jesus.
That was wild. I mentioned before that Yaris video game, the racing game that they came out with for like the slowest car ever.
Yeah.
Let's make a racing game for that.
True.
The Hooters road trip one that you played, that was also a choice.
I'm glad you mentioned it, so I don't have to.
True. Hooters has somehow once again appeared on this podcast.
Yeah, we're all big fans of Hooters, clearly.
Yeah. I used to be, honestly. I don't eat chicken anymore, so I can't. But
fuck.
They were one of my favorites.
Well, if they would make a Hooters road trip too, they might convince you to eat chicken again, right? They should get on that.
No. No.
I don't think Hooters road trip is the way to convince.
The issue for me was the sauce. I really enjoyed their wing sauce. So the moment that I can perfect that on my own, I will be fine. I will not miss them.
Fair enough. Yeah.
But the other one I would say that I wanted to bring up, I guess closer to yours, Matt, was the Homefront game that came out for like PlayStation 3, I think, where it was like it was supposed to be like Call of Duty, but like the war was on American soil or whatever.
Right, North Korea took over.
Right.
Yeah, it's a little closer to propaganda, I guess.
Yeah, what's it advertising?
Military.
And it was like blatantly originally going to be that they wanted to do China, and then they could realize that they shouldn't, so they just substituted it wholesale for North Korea.
Right, yeah.
Which made no sense.
But that's a tough argument for an advert game.
That was a strange one.
But I do actually have in my notes, I would have brought this up anyway. I do like Call of Duty as a franchise being sponsored by the US Army. They are obviously advertising to people.
I guess those count as an advert.
Yeah.
I would definitely count them as advert games. So that's
Well, I mean,
the
actually, you know what I would say? I feel like only after a certain point do the Call of Duties become an advert game. Because like Call of Duty 2 is like a World War II game. You know what I mean?
yeah,
I feel like that's
Yeah.
definitely modern Call of Duty, not like the origins of it. Yeah, for sure.
Black
like,
Ops.
which came to mind because like Call of Duty 2 is the one I've played, but I don't think it would qualify for this.
No, I don't think the US Army has actual ties with that yet. Just happens later.
I played the Pokemon TCG game on the Game Boy Color, and like I don't know if that's a true advert game, but it's blatantly there to sell you the Pokemon card game cards.
I guess that's
You know what I mean?
an argument.
I'm like trying to think, because like the closest I think I've really played that I can remember are like Pikmin 2, the Pokemon TCG.
Pikmin 2.
Because they have all the, like, everything's a real life brand, like Duracell,
Oh.
you know.
Oh yeah.
Like, it's,
interesting.
like, that one is not an advert game, so I'm not really counting it, but it's like,
Do they have
it's all product. Like, there's a ton of product.
Do they have Aspera drink though?
I don't think so. I don't think they had a spare drink.
What a
Can't
bummer.
say that. Maybe with the new Pikmin, they'll add a spare drink.
I sure hope so. Obviously, I mentioned already Moorhoon, which was originally a whiskey advertisement that took on its own life, the franchise. So that's Germany's contribution to the whole genre. And also, I do remember a time where you had retail release games and developers would create a little flash,
Right.
not adaptation, but a little flash game to advertise the real game sort of thing. I remember the Trials games,
Oh, yeah.
those like motocross platformer games. When they had their first retail release, they made a flash game specifically to advertise that to the browser game players. Definitely a thing of its times. I don't think that's gonna happen anymore. And also, do you remember, because I think about this every now and then, do you remember Devolverland Expo? The like digital Devolver Digital, the publisher, during the pandemic, they made a video game that had you walk through an abandoned E3 environment, and they had their actual games advertised through this video game. A one of a kind fucking thing that was clearly, a result of the times with the whole lockdown situation. But
I don't think I've ever heard of this game in my life.
it was actually really cool. I remember playing it.
It sounds familiar.
Yeah, when I look it up, maybe I've seen it, but I sure don't remember it.
It was a first-person game. You sneak around. There were stealth elements because there are like evil robots running around, and you had to actually, I think, collect some stuff. But the entire area was, of course, filled with real, like, booths advertising real video games. So you did get to see trailers of Devolver Digital video games that were announced that year and whatnot. I think this game made me aware of the game Disc Room, which had a trailer in this to find, and I did like play Disc Room later on. So this actually succeeded in advertising a game to me.
I mean, that's pretty successful, though.
That is, I think, like a unique advert game that probably never existed again or before it in this sense. I actually recommend like playing this now, even if it's just like a weird time capsule. But like it was fascinating.
Is it still around?
I'm sure you can find it's on Steam. Yeah, it's free to grab on Steam.
Yes, I just grabbed it while you were talking.
Yeah, that's actually fucking dope. I love that still exists. Oh my god.
Wait, what is it called?
Devolverland Expo. It's basically a horror E3 game. But that brings me to a question that I wanted to ask you too anyway. So Devolverland Expo basically advertised Disc Room successfully and made me buy that game. Did you ever end up buying a product or be interested in a product through an advert game? Did that ever happen?
I mean, as a kid, I was very loyal to 7-Up because of Full Spot.
Hell yeah.
But the other one I would say is also like the Lego games. Like they've gotten me into a lot of like the more.
Oh yeah, Lego Racers would be an advert game.
But I don't even. I mean, I don't think I would count it as an
because like a lot of them had like sets based on whatever franchise or
okay,
whatever.
yeah,
Where I was
that's
like,
fair.
oh, okay. I was like, is that a set? Is that like, or they would have like you would have like the DLC for like minifigs, and I was like, is that a fig that I can buy? I want to buy that fig.
Yeah, that's
and then,
fair.
Like,
yeah.
I would go looking for it. So I've gotten a lot of those sets and minifigs because of the games. Or like I enjoy their powers so much in the game where I'm like, I need to have this in my house also. I also was like really into the Toyota Yaris when that happened. I didn't care about I always wanted that to be like my first car, and that didn't happen. But like, I was like very obsessed about it at the time. I didn't get around to buying it, but you know, maybe one day.
One day, I'm sure.
You never know. It's possible.
First, get a job.
Right, sure.
I mean, always the first part of any.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
I guess thinking about it, Beetle Adventure Racing is an Advergame because that's all about advertising like Volkswagen Beetles.
Sure. Yeah.
And so, like, I mean, I've always liked Volkswagen Beetles, albeit I liked them before the game because have people ever seen the Herbie franchise?
Unfortunately, yeah, I'm not a fan.
Oh, come on, they're
Sorry
good.
to say, no.
Nah, we're gonna be on the opposite end of the spectrum when it comes to the Herbie franchise.
Clearly.
But I think more that made me interested in Beetle Adventure Racing than the reverse. And I guess like Automobili Lamborghini I played.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like the most that's like had something like I wanted to buy something due to an Advergame is like, you know, I felt like a soda and I listened to the Pepsi Man theme or something. I'm like, man, maybe I can go for a Pepsi. Something like that.
Yeah.
Pepsi Man. I mean, I think one thing is that a lot of the Advergames I just have on my backlog. And I feel like a lot of times if I go for an Advergame, it's something I already know, like, am interested in, if that makes sense. So it's not really influencing me in the same way. It's more like, hey, I like Cheetos. They made, like, funny Chester Cheeto game.
Yeah.
Which I do have those games downloaded.
But yeah, I mean, they definitely come from a time where you go look up cheap free games in a browser or whatever, and then are surprised by an ad. That's not really happening these days anymore. The industry and how we discover games is, of course, completely different. But there used to be like kinda hidden ad games. Does anybody remember the fucking Skittles horror RPG or whatever the fuck that was? What was that?
Skittle Horrors RPG?
I swear to God, there was a video game like Darkest Days or some dramatic name. I think on the GameCube.
Skittles creepypasta.
You mean Darkened Sky? That's not a horror game.
Or whatever. It's a dark,
It's like
but it's
Skittle game.
Yeah, that's probably what I'm thinking of.
It's like a fantasy. It's like a fantasy action Zelda game.
Right. Okay.
With Skittles.
Yeah, and that is an official
like
Skittle branding for no reason but to advertise, but it's not putting it front and center on the the cover or whatever. So that's more the advertising that you know what's the equivalent of that? Fucking Death Stranding with Monster Energy. That is what we have now. That's our advert game. That still works.
And Death Stranding 2 with frickin' Usada Pekara from Hollow, which is
what? I don't think I'm familiar.
Do you not know about any of that?
I do not believe I do.
Okay, so without going into 50,000 things, Usada Pekara is a VTuber from Hollow Eyes.
Okay,
and
that's
Kojima really likes her.
Okay.
So he actually contracted her and put her in the game with her voice acting it. Which is also like an advertisement for her channel, basically.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Sure.
She's an in-universe character, which is just inherently very funny.
That is pretty wild. Yeah, I don't think I've heard of that.
There was also Croc 2 with the Lifesaver gummies.
Exactly. See, Croc would get me to eat some Lifesavers. But if I had a Lifesaver game, I would never seek it out. They need to those capitalist suits need to sneak in more advertisements in my entertainment is what I'm asking. I desperately need it.
I mean, unironically, shit like that would probably work better, partially because, like, it can be funny.
That's what I'm thinking right now.
Yeah.
Like looking back at these weird, curious, like brand deals is funny, but would we actually appreciate it in our modern game? I guess the Monster Energy in Death Stranding worked, but I feel like that is more an exception.
I think it depends heavily on how it's presented.
Right, yeah.
I think a lot of the times the thing that bothers people is that it feels like a cynical cash grab and just shoving advertisement in your face. I think like with Death Stranding and Monster Energy, I think part of what makes that work is that a lot of people who would be in the protagonist situation would probably be chugging Monster Energy. So it feels realistic. You feel me? It relates back to the real world in a way that enhances the setting.
Interesting.
Whereas I feel like with a lot of games, it's like when a movie just really prominently has like Apple on like all the computers and it like lingers on a shot of the Apple logo. It doesn't really necessarily fit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like with product placement, sometimes it's a little murky because sometimes in movies it'll make it feel a little bit more real. Like I hate when they're like, I love my fruit phone or something. And it's like, okay, we know that you mean like Apple. Like it takes me out of it sort of. But like if everything they have in the room is an Apple product, it's like, come on now. Like nobody has every single Apple, thing forever. Like it used to bother me like watching like the X-Files and every single car that they ever had was a Taurus. It was a Ford Taurus. And I was like, why does like no other car exist in this show? My dad had a Taurus at the time, so that's why it was like I was able to like connect to it. But like it was always just like once I saw it, I was like, this is bothering me so much,
It's wild.
But like that sort of thing where it's like clearly they have a license for that car or whatever. But like there's other things like with Alan Wake, they had like fake merch for like the coffee mug and like the beer that they advertised in the game or whatever, and they weren't real products, but people lost their shit about because they were like, I want the thermos from the game, and like they sold out so quickly, and it's just like that's not even real product placement. It's just merch for the game, and so that was kind of funny in that sort of way, where it's just like this is still product placement, but it's just merch for the game itself.
Yeah.
I mean, it's actually pretty funny. And it makes me think it would be funny if there was a fake Advergame that's just like an Advergame like Chester Cheetah or whatever that doesn't for a product that doesn't exist. That would actually be like a fun itch game.
Yeah,
I just want to say it would have been so funny in the X-Files if they made Ford part of like the conspiracy, and there's actually a conspiracy to replace as many cars possible with the Ford Taurus. And that just explained in the show. It would fit right in.
Jesus Christ. See, I'm in the middle of watching X-Files, so if and I didn't recognize the Taurus because I don't know cars, as often said before.
Yeah.
If you ruined the show for me now, I'm gonna be mad. If I'm gonna just see Tauruses or whatever.
Matt, report back to us on how many Ford Tauruses you see.
It's a very distinct that model car is very distinct.
Oh my god, I really hope I'm not focusing on that from now on. Bless my car blindness for not recognizing any of that.
Bless my car.
Says the racing game person.
If I see
they have Tauruses in Gran Turismo for sure. I know that much.
Oh my god, yeah. I would assume so.
You gotta look out for.
I guess so. I now have to look out for the X-Files car in Gran Turismo.
Coming for you, Matt.
Yeah.
The X-Files Gran Turismo crossover.
Get away
from you had.
Yeah.
To get back on track.
I think. I want to go back to something I was saying before we did that. I think the other thing with some of the Advergame kind of thing is a lot of the Advergames were pretty poor quality. Right. I think it's telling that a lot of the ones that are kind of remembered are ones that had like genuine quality put into them. I think people would be more accepting of a lot of Advergames if they were just like better games kind of thing. Like one that didn't come up yet, but I know people like is like Chex Quest.
Yeah.
And that was like a Doom style game for people who wouldn't be old enough to play Doom.
And I think that got a revival and is still around. Yeah, it's on Steam.
It did, and what's funny is that's divisive. Some people don't like the art style shift, which is fair, honestly.
That is fair, yeah. But yeah, that is a wild phenomenon, that game, that's true.
And then, like, with, like, Darkened Sky, I think it's a combination of, like, one, it's inherently funny to have, like, this Zelda, like, it says Tomb Raider, but I'd say it's for Zelda, style action adventure where it's like, alright, the magic is all Skittles. That's just inherently funny.
That
And
is
two, I think
kind of
it's
dope.
because otherwise, nobody would remember this game.
That is,
Yeah.
in hindsight, probably true. Yeah.
So it's like, alright, that's the Skittles game.
Just like nobody would remember Gran Turismo 4 if it wasn't for the Aspera drink car.
And the Ford Taurus.
Sure. Here's another question. What is a product you would like to see an Advergame for, and why?
A product I'd like to see an Advergame for and why.
Well, now I want some cleaning product games.
I need everybody to choose a product and pitch me an Advergame idea.
Let me think about products I actually care about in any way.
I don't know of one single brand. I don't know one single brand that can do this, but I'm sure one of them is out there, but we need a fly swatter brand to bring back the gnat attack.
Okay, yeah, sure. That is a pretty good idea, actually.
Bring back Mario Paint Fly Swatter.
Yeah.
Yep.
I might need a moment, to be honest, because there's a lot of brands.
In the educational realm, I feel like there's a lot that can be done for like cleaning for cleaning products. Like I would like to see a game where they have like, you know, what specific surfaces you can use different disinfectants on or whatever, so you can like do it properly. Because I feel like a lot of people don't know the difference between cleaning and disinfecting, and like what, you know, don't mix these two things, you're gonna create a gas bomb, you know. So like,
but then they would know how to build a gas bomb as well. I feel like that would actually get them.
I think that actually the U.S. government went like that.
I mean, you dive, but you know, hey.
Yeah.
I've got to say, my first thought after Leah said that was just, what if Trojan made a sexual education game?
Jesus, of course.
I mean,
how would that? What would it look like?
I assume it'd be like a porn game, and showing the dangers of not using protection and stuff like that.
What would be the gameplay mechanics?
And then see the Catch the Sperm game.
Yeah,
and that's why you better buy Trojan condom.
Catch the Sperm would be a viable revival of the Catch the Sperm series with Trojan marketing.
The franchise.
yeah, there's multiple games.
I mean, I guess yeah.
See, I had a
honestly.
Go ahead.
I would love. This isn't like a new one, but I would love to just get like a new Pepsi Man or like some of those old platformers with stuff like that, but like bizarrely high. Like, give me Bubsy 4D for like Chester Cheetah or Cool Spot or something. Bizarrely high quality.
That would be nice to have back.
It would be
we need a Smash Brothers clone with all the brand mascots. That would sell.
Oh my god, that would rule.
Super brand.
Bring back multiverse.
I would of course main Domestos, Germ Killer.
Of course.
I had an idea while writing this up, while putting my notes together of a Advergame that I want to pitch to you. And it's also thematic because in the week that this episode releases, on the 28th of May, we have Menstrual Hygiene Day, International Menstrual Hygiene Day. And I was thinking a good product to make an Advergame for would be menstrual hygiene products. And I'm thinking there's a good idea for a vehicular adventure game where the different menstrual hygiene products are different vehicles. For example, the Tampon could be a sort of quick and agile Antigrav racing thing. I could see that thing zoom around the roads and have an ability where you absorb liquids to bulk up, which makes you stronger against enemies to dash into them while going from point A to point B. And then as the menstrual pad, you could probably fly around. I see that as like sort of a plane thing where you use your little wings to go through the airs.
It'd be like a magic carpet or something.
I guess that is, it's a similar vibe like that for sure. And I could see
flutter jump,
and I could see that have like precision obstacle courses where you really had to like go through tight areas where you have to make you rotate your fucking menstrual pad the right way and that sort of thing. I'm not entirely sure if there's room for a liquid-based power-up in that section. I haven't figured that one out yet, but I'm working on it. The third one, though, of course, is the menstrual cup, which is gonna be like a sort of tank thing that is more on the defensive and aggressive side, and it probably would have the ability to like escort NPCs by like turn the menstrual cup around, and you have a perfectly safe area for an NPC to sit in, basically like as a shield from above. And that could probably make it through masses of NPC enemies and like crash against them, kill them. I don't know.
But
Shoot
what
something from
brand
a
is
little.
doing this?
See, yeah, I mean, whoever wants to be part of this project, whatever menstrual hygiene product brand wants to be part of the project.
Yeah, I don't know that anybody makes all three is the issue.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. You might need to get multiple people to sign up to this idea.
There's definitely companies that do all three for sure. There's a female company that does definitely all three of those, but I think they are German based, not international.
Oh, okay.
But hey, I would, they could sponsor this. I would be down.
I feel like if I were to make a game about menstrual products,
Yeah.
it would be a little bit more like Where's My Water?
I feel like that's too obvious though. I don't think that would. I mean, maybe the audience is big enough for that.
I mean, obvious isn't
like maybe
bad.
the different products would be different power-ups.
But I like the idea of an Antigrav racing tampon. And you could have like codes
I can tell.
on the product boxes to like give you new skins or like vehicle types and whatever. It would be pretty epic. I'm all about this right now.
That would be so sick, honestly.
That actually does say something that I've actually thought about. I'm surprised there isn't a modern advert game that takes advantage of QR codes or something.
Yeah. I miss that shit. Give me that back.
I think I see that still sometimes on some products, especially like snack products and whatever, but it's always just like some shit ass little mobile game on an app you don't want to download.
I didn't even mean that. I meant like QR codes in the game, not on the product.
QR codes in the game?
Yeah, to like send you to the product pages or like an ARG or something.
Oh, but that would.
They did that in the not for products, but they did that in the Alan Wake remake. Or like you can do like behind the scenes, everything was like a QR code and you would have to scan it. I did not. I just went to YouTube where somebody had collected all the videos and watched them.
Yeah. That makes sense.
I'm not stopping my play just to watch this.
Yeah.
I think when I'm thinking about Advergames, and this is going to be a very potentially strange idea, but maybe not.
Stranger than my menstrual game?
No, not stranger than your menstrual game. But it doesn't mean it's not maybe not strange, but like offbeat for an advert game, I guess actually would be what I'd say. So either of you, I'm sure you've heard, I guess I'm not sure. Have you ever heard of the Hyperdimension Neptunia series?
Heard of it, yeah. Not familiar, but yeah.
Where they have like anthropomorphic versions of like the Sega consoles and stuff.
What? I didn't know
That's
about
the core concept. The series kind of sucks, to be clear.
Damn,
but
you had me going early with that.
I mean, you might like it. You might like it. But I've seen and I've had issues. But honestly, like, I feel like there's a lot of websites and stuff that have like an anthropomorphic version of the website, like Wikipedia and all that.
Mm-hmm.
And it could be fun to have like an RPG with a bunch of that stuff that's like going across the internet, and that's like the levels and themes and stuff. And like your party members are different anthropomorphic versions of the website, which then advertises the website in some way. And it's like that's not really a traditional advert game, but like that was when I was thinking about what's something I think could be neat. That was kind of what I thought of, I guess.
See, that would be kind of sick if done well, but it would require effort. And I know if any company would like put time into this, they would like really make it predatory as hell with weird fucking microtransactions and whatnot.
I mean, that's why I said, for me, a lot of the issue with the advert games isn't necessarily that they're an advert game, it's the fact they suck.
Yeah. That is definitely a problem.
I'd say the other thing, honestly, is like the Darkened Sky style concept. I would totally enjoy if all of a sudden there was another like dark, like give me Dark Souls, except like the souls are Skittles or whatever the fuck. Everyone's just full of Skittles.
Dark Souls Skittles.
You know what I mean?
Full of Skittles. Yeah, I love that.
You're killing this, and like it has to be extremely difficult, like Dark.
Uh,
So
I
some
think
shit like that, I guess.
I think you're cooking with that. You should tell the Dark Souls people about that idea.
Oh man, and like the Estus flask is lifesavers because they save your life.
Oh, 2 brands.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, when you mention Dark Souls, I'll come flocking.
all right. I believe we are pretty good on the Advergames, which brings us to the eternally untitled collection game, where I shall pull a random collection from the How Long to Beat website, and my co-hosts will have to one by one guess games on said list, unless they are going to veto the first choice. So I'm pulling the first random collection. It is a list by user Yugorizon titled Quest God of War, and it includes exactly 10 titles. Does anybody want to veto?
I mean, that's just going to be all the God of War
mean,
games.
Yeah.
So we can just get free points if you want, Leah.
Incredible.
I'm not vetoing because
confident
I feel
I
like
know-
I can remember one.
Yeah, I'm confident I can pull 3 games out of there.
All right. Well, it is actually Roy who starts today.
The original God of War.
What is the original? Is that 2005?
I believe so.
I believe so too. That is, of course, on here. Jesus Christ. I'm curious if
I will say God of War 2018.
Yeah.
That's like shit. Why can't we get shit like this while I play?
I would probably only be like, I could probably only name 2 of these games. But yeah, of course, God of War 2018 is on here.
Dude, come on. They're like fucking numbered.
Yeah.
Sure. Go ahead, Roy.
God of War 2.
That is indeed correct. Leah, incredible.
God of War Ragnarok.
That is also correct. Roy.
God of War 3.
That is also correct. I wonder if you're gonna clean this whole thing up.
Yeah, that's the issue. I think we've run out.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Thing is, I do remember the 2 PSP games.
Yeah. I know it's God of War Blood and something, but I don't know what the second word is. I'll say Blood and Iron. I don't remember.
There's no God of War Blood and Iron on this list. So, Roy,
God of War Chains of Olympus.
we do have that.
I have them downloaded to my emulation.
God damn it. There's only 4 left.
Yeah, I don't know if we're gonna clean it up, but I think we got a bunch.
Is there one called God of War Mount of Olympus? Something like that?
That is not on the list, no.
Damn.
God of War Ghost of Sparta.
There's no God of War Ghosts of Sparta on this list.
Oh, really? I could have sworn that was one. Ah, shit, maybe it's something else of Sparta. Or maybe they played it. Because I think technically there's like...
No, I will retract my statement. There is a Ghost of Sparta. I apologize.
Okay. There's that then, I guess.
Fucking hell, dog. Yeah, a whole ass 3 titles here.
I can see the title.
You can see it.
I can see it.
In your mind's eye.
Ascension?
God of War Ascension. That is
Yeah,
correct.
Ascension.
My god.
My
And
God.
unfortunately for me, that's the last one I know.
2 more.
So,
Holy fuck.
God of War Ragnarok got DLC that could be on here. So I'm gonna say God of War Ragnarok Valhalla.
I was gonna say, yeah.
Unfortunately,
I don't know if we were counting DLC.
I mean, if it's on the list, I would count it, but it is not on the list.
Alright.
Oh my god.
I wonder if, well...
Have they ever thought about God of Peace? I feel like they could use some variety here.
That sounds like some PETA game that would get named.
That's true, actually. Yeah.
What about, like, God of War Collection? I can't think of, like, what would that
Yeah, it could just be the collections.
Unfortunately,
I don't know.
Unfortunately,
I figure that they just have the individual ones on there.
Yeah, there's no.
But
God
if
of
there's
War
the new
collection
one
here.
that got announced, is on there. I guess that's not on the beat yet. Probably.
Well,
I don't think it's on. Yeah, I was also thinking of that.
Just to be clear, Leah has made 3 mistakes now, wrong guesses. So it's just Roy.
It's up to you, Roy. Think of those Greek gods.
And I've got 2 left.
2 left, correct? Yeah, two lives left and 2 games left.
Shit.
I'm just gonna say God of War remastered. Just to see if there's a remaster. Wasn't there like a shitty mobile game or something a few years ago?
There's no God of War remaster on the list. This is.
Am I going crazy? I thought there was like a shitty God of War mobile game at some point.
I couldn't tell ya, dog.
I believe there was. People were mad about it. I remember reading about people
Yeah.
being like, this sullies the name.
Was it like God of War Call of the Wild or some shit?
That is not on the list, and that would be your last guess, so that's it.
Alright. What were the last two? I'm curious.
Yeah, the two games left are God of War Sons of Sparta and
Oh, damn it. That's the new
Damn it!
one.
That is the new one. It was on here.
and God of War Saga, which
Saga.
Saga might be a
Oh,
compilation.
that's a collection.
Is that not collection?
Yeah.
It's a collect. No, collection's a different one. Because they have multiple collections. So we were on the right path. We just
Okay.
didn't get the right collection.
Yeah, shame on you. But that's 8 out of
Why
10.
was I thinking blood? Where was I with this?
I don't know. But that is bringing Leah's score from 23 to 26. And freaking Roy soaring high up in the sky, going from 24 to fucking 32.
Damn.
Yeah, 32.
Unfortunately for
Jesus.
Matt, I think we both got it's mostly just because of that bonus from winning. Because otherwise it would be 29, 26. And I started with one more than her, so I only got 2 more. Unfortunately for Matt, the collection he rolled was super easy to guess for.
How fun. Oh well. Well, Roy on top of the throne of this for this game, like way up there.
Yeah. At one point, there's going to be like a collection of PP poo-poo games, and Matt's going to score like 30 points.
I fucking hope so. I pray for the day. But until then, that is it for us for today. We have yapped about plenty of video games. Dear listener, if you are still with us, thank you very much. Let us know if you have any.
Oh my god, I just realized.
Oh.
We missed the most obvious choice for an Advergame for us to say. The How Long to Beat Advergame.
Oh.
We want that to exist. We could appear in it.
What would that be, though?
Game on the website.
It'd probably be... I feel like it'd be something kind of like...
Where you guess the times.
I mean, it could be a quiz game.
It's literally on the website.
The website game is not advertising for the podcaster.
Well, that's fair.
What was like the one Sackboy game that was like 3D World?
Fucking why? So we'd want a 3D platformer podcast game with us as characters?
I think it'd be something like the podcasters going through like settings based on various video games or like parodies of them because we're seeing how fast to beat the game.
Oh yeah, okay.
Maybe like it has like a speedrun element.
And I'm definitely the main character in the pee pee poo poo world. I have the pee pee poo poo powers.
Yes.
For sure.
You've got the strongest piss stream to break down the walls or whatever.
Roy has the
just jet propels you across.
Oh yeah, that's the hover. You just point it down and start pissing and hover as you go.
Roy has like Wordle linguistic magic abilities. And
no, he's like Scribblenauts. Like you write down the word, like a 5-letter word, and then
and Leah, of course, summons birds as like companion creatures. Obviously, yeah. I think we got. She
probably has like the best attacks because she can attack people with birds.
Yeah. It's good. That smells like some RPG elements as well, like a whole like party system and whatnot.
Actually, I think it smells like piss.
Yeah, I guess that's right, and that's where we're gonna leave it. Thank you for listening, everybody. If you have any memorable or good Advergames that you have experienced in the past, please share with us. Let us know. Or if you have any great ideas for products to be turned into Advergames, the suits of the capitalist machine would love to hear those ideas. Have a good night, day, or whatever the heck. Hope you hear us again. We see you on the Discord and the forums, and goodbye.
Bye.
Stay pissing, friends.
Jesus fuck.